Hello everyone, this is your friend from Naruto Audio Fanfics, and we are back once again with a brand new fanfic. Which is what if Naruto went back in time to save Kushina and rewrite his destiny, Naruto times Kushina times Hinata times Ino, Part 1. If you enjoy this story, don't forget to hit the like button, thumbs up. And subscribe to the channel for more amazing Naruto fanfics like this. So without wasting any more time, let's start today's fanfic. It was about one day away from the Chunin exams. Naruto was resting up for his big battle against Neji Hyuga. Although he was happy that he made it to the finals of the Chunin exams, there was just one thing was on Naruto's mind. It was what Gaara said to him one day ago. So you have a monster too. But that make us the same. What does Gaara mean by that? Does he have a beast inside him too? That I'm not alone, am I? Naruto wonders as he sat in his bed. One day left until the big day of the Chunin exams, one more day and thousands will see him face Neji Hyuga and the goal of becoming a Chunin. But Naruto started to think, will they even accept him that prize if he wins? Will he become a Chunin another level to reach the title of Hokage? Naruto started to think back to the day where he took the forbidden scrolls of secret jutsu. Flashback. Few months ago. Naruto went on to take the Genin exams. He tried his best, and failed for the third time. His hope and dreams becoming Hokage was far from a long shot. He wished for everyone to respect him. He wished everyone would be nice to him, become his friends, or even adopted him into a family. Naruto was reading the scroll of forbidden jutsu. He was reading from top to bottom a number of listed ninjutsu he can learn. However, there was one jutsu that caught his eye. The name of the jutsu was called Time Seal. Naruto spoke the name of the jutsu. Naruto raised his left eyebrow. He was confused on what this jutsu does. The word time can be used for many times as such: freeze your enemies in place, or becoming very fast, or maybe just maybe the power to go back in time. Those were the things that were running through his mind. End of flashback. Time seal. It's been months and yet I remember it. Odd, I printed it into my brain. Naruto chuckled as he sighs afterwards. I wonder if I try it. It's been months but I still got it down. I know I am forgetting one thing about it. What was it? Naruto rubbed the back of his head trying to remember. Oh well. But first I need to do it somewhere no one will bother me. Naruto got out of his bed. He opened his bedroom door and quickly left out. Hospital rooftop. Yeah, this should be the spot. Yup, here should do it. Naruto nodded. Naruto closed his eyes as he performs the hand signs of using this forbidden jutsu. Naruto wasn't sure why he suddenly remembered this jutsu. Was it because of the Chunin exams or was something else? After the 9th hand sign, Naruto felt funny. He felt his body was feeling bit odd and different. He just felt odd, very odd. Suddenly a bright light flash in front of Naruto as everything around Naruto suddenly disappear. When the bright flash of light was gone, Naruto found himself in a new location. Naruto looked around only to find himself in the hidden forest of Konoha. Confused on how he got here, but before Naruto could think what happened, he heard a loud roar followed by the sound of a scream of agony. Naruto peeked through a brush to see an event in the making. Naruto's eyes widened as the young ninja saw two people standing there together. Naruto was more shocked to see a giant orange color fox standing over them. One of its right claw nail went right through them. In front of them was an infant on the floor. And right across from them was the third Hokage along with small group of Junins. Naruto's mouth opened but no words came out as Naruto was shocked, so shocked he was unable to speak. The man standing behind the red-haired woman was the 4th Hokage, one of Konoha's greatest leaders. The beast behind the 4th Hokage was the 9-tailed fox, the same 9 tails that was sealed inside him. Naruto so confused he wasn't sure what was going on here. But then he remembers that right, the time seal, he went back in time. This was the past. That's me. This is it. This is how it happens. My birth. Naruto was struck by a heavy blow of sadness. It filled his heart. Worst of all, it ached when he saw himself laying there on the floor, unaware the future he will have. Naruto heard the 4th Hokage spoke to the red-haired woman. I'm going to perform the 8 trigram seal. I'll leave my chakra within Naruto as well. If you have any last words for Naruto, tell them now, Kushina. The 4th Hokage told the woman. The red-haired woman known as Kushina smiled as she looked down at the infant. I have so much I wanted to tell you. Naruto. Kushina smiled. Who is she? Naruto wondered. Naruto honey, I wanted you to know I love you very much, so much. I want you to be strong for me. You will have a tough life, but don't let it get you down, sweetie. Be strong like how I was. I know I won't be there for you, but I want you to listen to me. Don't stay up too late, make sure you go to bed on time. A little guy like you always needs a good night of rest. Make you sure you eat right. Kushina chuckled as she coughed up blood. No, she can't be. No, Naruto shook his head. I know studying for ninjutsu is going to be difficult for you. I wasn't the best at it as well. Make sure you make friends, not too many but some. Make good friends, and you can trust even a few is enough long as they are your friends. Listen to your teachers at the academy. And remember, avoid the 3 vices of shinobi. Naruto fell down to his knees, his heart started to ache even more so. Anger, sorrow, guilt, pain, grief, loneliness were his emotions he was feeling. Naruto was holding back his tears. He didn't want to accept this feeling he was going through, it was too painful for him. And when picking the girl of your dreams, well, just try to pick someone like me, not a weird one, but someone like your mother. Kushina's smile was bright and warm. Naruto felt tears running down his face, he couldn't stop, he couldn't hold his tears back. And for a 4th warning, watch out for Jiraiya. The 4th Hokage chuckled at Kushina's comment about Jiraiya. Naruto, you're going to experience a lot of pain and suffering. But never believe you're alone, because you're never alone, honey. We will always be there for you in spirit and heart. Remember who you are. Remember who loved you so dearly. I want to stay with you, I love you. You will always be loved, never forget that. Kushina looked back at the 4th Hokage. Sorry Minato, I told up your time. Minato chuckled as he held closely to Kushina. Naruto, this is your dad. Listen to that big mouth mother of yours. We love you, kid, and remember you're the son of a great hero. I know without a doubt you will become a great ninja, just like your parents, just like us. 8 trigram seal, were the final words of Minato, the 4th Hokage. Within one big flash of light, Naruto was back where he was, right back on top of the rooftop of the hospital. Mom, Dad, Naruto stood up as he couldn't believe he saw his parents, Naruto tightened his fists. He shut his eyes close for a second. Naruto reopened them, he grabbed his head as he shook his head. He wanted to scream, he wanted to let it all out. Then memories of Naruto's pain came rushing through his mind. Go away. No one likes you. Hey, isn't he? You know. You don't belong here. Go away. Don't play with him, you hear me? You shouldn't listen to that boy. He's a troublemaker. Naruto, don't you have anything else to do beside become a screw up? You're a loser, you will always be a loser. I care who you are. What a matter, what's wrong, scary cat? Go away Naruto, you're annoying. Sorry, but I was talking about Sasuke, not you, Naruto. You're weak, Naruto, there's no way you will ever become a great ninja. Whatever you say, do you want to know why everyone hate you? Why you have no one wants to love? Because you were the 9-tailed fox who attacked the village 12 years ago. Iruka lost his parents to that fox. I bet he even secretly hates you within. Everyone does. You want to become a great shinobi, then grow up. Foolish won't grow if you stay a fool. Why did this happen to me? Naruto felt so lost, so confused, so angry. Now he regrets performing the time seal jutsu. But in his mind he was happy to saw his parents and saw that they loved him, but they were the ones that sealed the 9 tails into him. Naruto saw it there, they were dying. Did they do it for out of love or something else? He knew they also regretted doing this to him. But they believed in him unlike everyone else. The third was there. Maybe he knows what really happened. But even the old man lied to me about my parents, everyone lied to me. I had parents. I was loved. Naruto's eyes burned with anger. The 3rd Hokage's office. Naruto entered the 3rd's office. Naruto's outfit didn't change, he still wore his black t-shirt with black shorts. Same outfit he wore during his stay at the hospital. Sarutobi was bit curious on Naruto's appearance. Naruto, is it? The finals are 1 day away, you're supposed to be resting up. Naruto didn't bother to make eye contact with the old Hokage. Old man, can I ask you something? Sarutobi smiled. Sure Naruto, you can ask me anything. What is on your mind? Remember long ago when I asked you about my parents? Naruto rubbed his right forearm, showing signs of shyness. Yes Naruto, I remember. You were 5 years old that day, you came me asking me the same question. Sarutobi saw a small hint of angry in Naruto's eyes. You told me that my parents died during the Kyuubi attack. That's all you told me. I want to know if there is anything else more to it. Naruto finally looked at Sarutobi eye to eye. Sarutobi saw anger, betrayal, lies and sorrow in Naruto's sad eyes. Naruto listened, but before Sarutobi could have a chance to explain to the young ninja, Naruto cut him off. I don't want to hear it. You lied to me, old man. I know who my parents are. And here all this time I thought I was alone. I thought was unloved. To know my parents were killed by the very beast that is sealed inside me, you don't know, it make me sick, and to know, because of me, they're dead. Naruto, what did you do? Sarutobi asked him. Sarutobi got out from the chair, walked over to the young Uzumaki. I don't know. I did this jutsu. I remember back when Mizuki tried to seal the scrolls. I went back in time. It was only for a short period of time, but I saw enough. Enough to know my parents. They were protecting me. I know it. I just know it. Because of me, they're dead. It's all my fault. If only I wasn't born. Sarutobi pitied Naruto, he truly did. Just as Sarutobi was about to give Naruto a hug of comfort, the young ninja punched the old Hokage in the face. Don't touch me. I saw it. You were there. You stood there as my parents die. Naruto shouted. Naruto, you don't understand, let me explain. Sarutobi frowned. No. How do I know it isn't more lies? Everyone was against me since day one. No one cares about me. No one, not my teammates, not my sensei. Everyone either pity me or hates me. No one understands me. Naruto's anger was reaching to a high level. Sarutobi shouted at Naruto to make him listen. Naruto, please listen to me. I couldn't do a thing. Your mother made sure we couldn't do a damn thing. She stopped us from saving them. They gave their lives to protect you. The Kyuubi was going to kill you. If it wasn't for your parents, you would be the one dead. Do you think they forgive themselves to let their child die right in front of them? Naruto's eyes widen upon hearing this from Sarutobi. I know I don't understand you, Naruto. But I tried my best to protect you. Minato, your father, had many enemies. So I gave you your mother's last name in order to protect you. No one adopted you because they knew what was inside you. Naruto, have you forgotten I raised you for 5 years? Naruto gasped. He felt all the bashful things he was going to say to Sarutobi suddenly backfire. Sarutobi raised him for 5 years. He gave Naruto a home to live in. He gave Naruto lots of odd jobs so he can make money on his own. Naruto forgot how lucky he was. At least one person gave a damn about him. Naruto, I'm so sorry for not telling you. I wanted to wait a little long for you to grow up. I wanted you to be ready to know the truth about your parents. Your birthright, you are your parents' legacy. Naruto, you don't know how special and important you are. Sarutobi frowned. Naruto let out a sad laugh. Because I have the Kyuubi right. He glared at Sarutobi. Sarutobi shook his head. No, Naruto. You are an Uzumaki. The Uzumaki clan helped made this village. Did you know the first Hokage, my sensei's wife, was an Uzumaki? This quickly caught Naruto's attention. Really? Sarutobi nodded. Yes, she was Mito Uzumaki. She was a strong, smart and dangerous ninja. She was an Uzumaki. You should be proud to be an Uzumaki. You were the last one life. Hearing he was the last one of his clan made feel no different from being an orphan. I'm the last one, but nobody gives a damn. But when Sasuke is the last one of his clan, everyone gives a damn. I don't know a thing about my mother's family or even the clan. I've been kept in the dark. Naruto bare his teeth. Because if you remember what they taught you in class, the Uchiha also helped made Konoha. 3 clans helped made this village, Naruto. Shortly after the death of your mother, the Uzumaki clan information to the world, it just died out. For what I know and believe, you are the last living Uzumaki in this world. And I give a damn. Sarutobi told the young Uzumaki. Do you know where the homeland of the Uzumaki is? He asked Naruto. Naruto, there's nothing you can do. The homeland is nothing but an empty battlefield. Nobody and nothing lives there. He told Naruto. Naruto still wanted to know more about his people. Old man, do you really believe everyone will accept me with or without the Kyuubi? I know they won't. I really tired being a serious ninja, but just no one take me seriously. I really tired, I really did. But I just can't take it anymore. I can't be a star as Sasuke as are given much respect like the Hyuga or taken serious like the others. The world is better off without me. Naruto signed. Naruto, don't think of that way. I know you can be the star of Konoha. Sarutobi tried to cheer Naruto up. Thanks for cheering me up, Sarutobi, but this isn't working out for me. Don't need to worry about me, I'll be fine. I'm going home, I'll go rest up a bit, after all tomorrow is a best day, right? Naruto tried his best to show his warm joyful smile. As Naruto walked toward the door, Sarutobi spoke to him one last time. I'm sorry I hidden the truth from you, Naruto. But know this, you aren't the only one who lost a love on that day. I already know that, Sarutobi, everyone always reminds me. Goodbye, old man, see ya around. Naruto left Sarutobi's office. Although Naruto felt much worse than he felt before, but he felt a little better to know about his clan, but still he was kept in the dark about his past. Later that afternoon, alone in his apartment, Naruto lay there on his bed thinking back to what his mother Kushina said that moment. Make friends. Don't stay up late. Meet a girl like her. Mom, Dad, I wish you both were here. I'm so lost, I don't know what to do. What can I do? I don't know a single thing about my family, and they knew Pervy Sage too. Did he know my parents? Naruto turned over to his right side to stare at the picture of Team 7. Naruto grabbed the picture and had it face down on the nightstand. Friends, don't really friends who don't want you on the team to begin with, or know it all who think he's the star. Or a sensei that doesn't have time to train both students. Friends, no ma, I didn't make any friends, not the ones you wanted me to have. Naruto closed his eyes. He decides to visit a certain guest within him. Naruto's soul. Kyuubi's cage. Kyuubi stood there behind the cage, seeing its host staring at him with anger eyes. The demon fox smirk. So you know the truth. So what, doesn't change a thing about the relationship you and me, Kit. I don't know much happened, but because of you, I hate you, I hate you, I hate you. Naruto shouted. So what? You are a small fragment of my hatred. Do you think I had a choice of being sealed inside you? Thank your fourth Hokage for having me sealed inside you, Kit. Don't come crying and saying, I hate you, to me. I've been through this for nearly over hundreds of years. Do you think how you feel about me changes anything? Kyuubi asked Naruto as the two stares at one another. Why am I a small fragment? Surely I thought you hated me more, after all you did try to kill me. Naruto asked his inner demon. Kyuubi frowned at first but growled at Naruto, you little brat. Don't think you can win by words. If it wasn't for this seal, I would finish what I shouldn't have done 12 years ago. Damn that fourth Hokage, damn you Kushina, and damn you Naruto. I don't care what you feel about me. I'm stuck with you forever. If I die, so do you. This world doesn't need me. The world is better without me. I have no place, no reason being here. Feeling such despair because you know the truth that you will never become strong or popular that Uchiha boy is. I've been stuck with you since your birth. I know how you feel about everyone. You secretly hate everyone. Don't tell me you don't, Naruto, I know you. Kyuubi was right. Naruto did secretly hate everyone in Konoha because they didn't want him. He was unwanted. Why stay when they don't want him? That's not true. Naruto looked away as Naruto felt his heart sink deep into darkness of his fears. And one line made it true on Naruto's true feelings. I can see the weakness in your heart. Naruto looked up at Kyuubi as Kyuubi saw Naruto's appearance suddenly changed. Naruto wasn't 12 years old anymore, he was in the form of his 5-year-old body. Kyuubi frowned at the sight of the young Naruto before him. I know how you feel, Naruto. You and I linked. I've watched you all these years. They hate you because they don't understand the hell of being the host of a Biju. They don't know how we the Biju were hated because they never understood us. Like you, I too was misjudged. Fox. Naruto said as Kyuubi felt a heavy coat of despair and sorrow all around its host. Naruto, those thoughts you are thinking now won't do. What's the point of killing yourself? How would your parents think of their son giving up because no one understood him? Those fears because they do understand the unknown. Naruto and I are the unknown. We are not human, we are something much greater than a human being. Your mother is the same as well. Kyuubi grew a large tooth-full grin. Mother was the same? Naruto asked. Kyuubi started to explain more to its little host. Yes, she was. Like you, she was my former host. Kushina was brought here to Konoha to be used as my host. She was taken from her home just to be used as a host. A host that they will control just like what they were going to do to you, to us. But that old Hokage changed things. He gave Kushina the life she wanted. There are 8 others like us Naruto. 8 other who are alone and misunderstood by the world. With the time seal you can see your parents again Naruto. Think about who need this village of this time. Let's go to a time where things are better. A better chance for us. Think about, don't you want to see your parents? Yeah, I do. I want to meet my parents, get to know them. I want to be there with them. I want to change the fate of my parents. I want my family. I want my family that was taken from me. I want them now. Naruto shouted. Then do it. Kyuubi waited for its host to back in time. But first, do you have a name? Naruto asked Kyuubi. Kyuubi looked little confused of the sudden question. Why do you ask? Naruto looked bit shy at first, but he nodded before he spoke up. Everyone has a name. And you're right, all I know is you're a fearsome evil beast. But I don't know anything about you. You've been with me for 12 years, but I don't know you. You're a stranger to me. You gave me your chakra so I can survive. So I want to know, do you have a name? You know mine's. What is your name, Kyuubi? You are the only person who asked me that question. Very well then Naruto, I shall tell you my name only if you promise me one thing. What you want me to do? He asked. There is an experiment I want to see. On the night of your birth, do not allow your father to seal me into you. There is something I want to see. If you promise to do that, then I shall tell you my name, but only if you decide to keep that promise. Kyuubi explained to Naruto. If that's what it takes to give me my family back, then I shall do it. Naruto performed the 9-hand sign for the time seal jutsu. Time seal. Naruto spoke. My name is Kurama. Remember it, for this is the only time I will ever tell you this. Naruto Uzumaki. In a bright flash of light, the room was filled of the bright light that consumed both Naruto and Kurama. Konoha 12 years ago. The sound of rain pours down on the village of Konoha. He wasn't sure did it work or not. He woke up to see the ground. He lay there on the wet muddy ground. Naruto rolled over on his back, staring up at the dark skies. Did I do it? He wonders. Naruto rose up from the ground as he rested his back against the wall of a nearby building. The rain felt heavy as Naruto wondered what can he do to save his parents. What if he did save them? Will it change the timeline of his, or will stay the same? Or will they still die in the end? The heavy feeling of being the major cause of his parents' death burned deeply in his mind. Naruto leaned back, hugging his legs. I don't know how it really happens. How can I stop it from happening? I know Kurama knows, but I don't really think he'll tell me. I have to do it on my own. I have to save them. They save me. I must save them. I must. Suddenly Naruto felt a shadow case over him. Naruto looked up to see who it was. Naruto's eyes widened in shock as his eyes lay upon the person looking over him. Hey kid, why are you out here? You'll catch a cold if you stay out here in the rain. The person standing before him was Minato, the 4th Hokage, Naruto's father. Minato was wearing a Junin jacket, holding a large umbrella while holding a brown bag. Naruto stood up as he couldn't believe who was standing right in front of him. Minato stared at Naruto as the young boy stared right back at his father. Naruto's eyes told Minato it all. He had no place to go. He was alone. He didn't know his reason for living anymore. He needed a reason, a goal, a purpose. Minato kneeled down to Naruto's height as Minato patted Naruto on his head. Hey, what's with the long face? Didn't cut out for a mission. Are you lost your way? Minato smiled friendly at Naruto. I'm sorry, Naruto whispered. Minato didn't catch what Naruto said. What did you say? Naruto spoke, but this time he didn't whisper. I'm sorry. Sorry for what? Everyone have their bad days here and there. I am sure you can do even better. Now tell me, what's your name? Where are your parents? Minato chuckled happily as he asked Naruto. I'm sorry, he spoke again. Naruto looked at Minato for last time before. Naruto fell down on his knee before he blacked out. Hey, kid, wake up. Come on, wake up. How am I going to explain this to Kushina? Naruto heard Minato sighed. Minato sighed again. This boy, I've never seen his face before. But those eyes, his eyes are like Kushina. Without a second thought, Minato placed down his brown bag and placed Naruto on his back, carrying the young Uzumaki. As Minato carried Naruto on his back, the young Hokage walked back home where his beloved wife Kushina Uzumaki awaits him. unaware the boy on his back is his own flesh and blood. I'm sorry, what does he mean by that? It was raining that day, Naruto remember. The sound of rain was heard. Naruto opened his eyes to find himself inside a dark room. The only light was the window that shows the dark gray skies as rainfall tapping down on the glass window. Naruto's body felt strange, he felt bit ill, he wasn't sure why but he did felt ill. Naruto tried to shake the ill feeling off. Naruto noticed he was inside somebody's room whose room he wasn't sure. Naruto got off the bed and left the bedroom. There was light in the hallway. Naruto noticed he was on the second floor of this house he believed he was in. Naruto heard the sound of voices down below. Naruto got near the stairway as he heard the two voices. Where did you find him, Minato? The woman's voice was heard. I found him near the alleyway, I'm not sure why he was there. But he's lost, I can tell. Kushina, Minato's voice was heard. Minato, Kushina, there, my parents. Naruto thought. A heavy frown appeared on Naruto's face. Here they are alive and well, unknowing the fate they will encounter in the end. Kushina, I'll be back. The little guy was looked beat up. I'll go see if I can find any first aid. Naruto heard Minato's voice. Come back, Minato. Kushina said. Don't worry, I will. Minato chuckled. Naruto turned away as his heart couldn't handle it. How cheerful they were, how these two couple would one day become his parents. Naruto sat down as he rested his back against the hallway wall as the young ninja sighed. Well, since I'm here, for who knows how long, I guess, I can use this to get to know my parents. Naruto thought. But first I need some rest. Few hours later, Naruto woke up by the smell of cooking. The fresh smell of food opened his eyes and made his stomach growl. Naruto heard a voice spoke. You're finally up, what good timing. You're about to taste the best food in the world. Naruto rose up to see Minato sitting in a chair across from him. Naruto found himself resting on the couch. Where am I? Naruto asked. My home, Minato said. Dinner's ready. Kushina's voice was heard. Naruto saw Kushina came out from the kitchen as Kushina laid down a large roast turkey. The smell made Naruto's stomach growl loudly. Minato and Kushina sweat dropped together while Naruto blushed from embarrassment. The table wasn't large, but nor was it small, just a normal family dinner table. Naruto took his seat in the middle with Kushina to his right and Minato to his left. Naruto would have died to have this moment, but yet he felt empty. He wasn't sure why, but he just felt empty. There was something missing, he felt it. So what is your name, young man? Kushina asked. Naruto didn't answer Kushina. There was only a long pause. Minato noticed the look in Naruto's eyes. He saw joy, but yet those eyes were joyful, saddest. My Minato, you sure did pick up a strange one. Thought this one would have knows his manners. Kushina said as she hit Naruto lightly on his head with a wooden spoon to get his attention. Ouch. Naruto rubbed his head. My husband brought you out of the rain. You own him, at least can you give us your name? Kushina ended with her a big smile. I'm Naruto. He spoke his name. Naruto. That's a wonderful name. Kushina smiled as Minato nodded. I like that name. Naruto. I'm Minato Namikaze and this is my beloved wife Kushina Uzumaki. Minato introduced himself and Kushina to Naruto, unaware they just introduced themselves to their son from the future. You're a genin, yet I've never seen a genin like you before. What squad are you a part of? Kushina asked. Team 7. Naruto spoke. Team 7. I've never heard of that team before. Kushina said as fear quickly built up inside Naruto's heart. It must be one of the new teams Sarutobi-san spoke of having next year Chunin exams, remember Kushina? Kushina thought back as she gave a big nod. Naruto sighed in relief as his father saved him from being discovered. Naruto, do you know where your parents are? Kushina asked. Naruto again didn't answer her, but he soon answered. I don't know my parents. I don't know if I ever have any parents. Kushina could feel the hint of pain in Naruto's voice. Kushina frowned as she said, I'm sorry. It's okay. I've been through worst. Yeah, I have. Naruto chuckled sadly. How long have you? Naruto cut off Minato from speaking the rest. Can I eat now? He asked them quickly, changing the subject. Oh yes, of course. Kushina chuckled. The three ate dinner together happily. There were no questions and answers, just laughs and food, nothing more. When Minato spoke of Jiraiya telling him about one of his research journey in the Land of Fire, Kushina sighed as she told Minato she doesn't want Jiraiya's pervy way making her husband like his sensei. Kushina, you know I would never do such things as Jiraiya would do. Minato told his wife. You better not, I won't have my husband being a pervert, your youngest leaf ninjas ever to be Hokage. A perverted Hokage will be a bad sign, especially for the next generations. Kushina glared at her husband. Naruto couldn't help but grew a big smile. Seeing how his parents reacted with one another. Especially since they were a couple, even though he was smiling and laughing now, his heart was aching from within. Shortly after dinner was over, Minato was washing the dishes while Naruto was helping Kushina clean up the table. Naruto, you can go ahead and take a bath first, okay? There, I need to have a word with Minato. A little surprise for him, you wanna know? Kushina asked Naruto as the young blonde nodded. Kushina whispered to him, I'm going to have a baby. Naruto's eyes widened upon the surprise. He looked at his mother, knowing who the baby was. Naruto grew a smile. I'm sure he'll be surprised. Naruto grinned at the end. Naruto went upstairs to the bathroom to take his shower. Naruto overheard down below. I'm going to be a mom, ya know. Kushina's voice was heard. I'm going to be a dad. Minato yelled with joy. I'm going to be a mom, ya know. Kushina also yelled with joy. I'm going to be a dad. Minato still couldn't believe it. I'm going to be a mom, ya know. Like her husband, she too couldn't believe it was happening. Naruto sighed while smiling. My parents. He chuckled. While taking his bath in the large tube, Naruto relaxed as he thought of his parents. He was happy he got to see them, but still. They made him into the person he was today. Their deaths made him into the young ninja he is today. 12 years of loneliness, and yet by their presence it was barely washed away. Seeing them together, how they reacted. These two people were his mother and father, his parents. I'm looking at you through the glass. Don't know how much time has passed. Oh God, it feels like forever. But no one ever tells you that forever feels like home. Sitting all alone inside your head. 'Cause I'm looking at you through the glass. Don't know how much time has passed. All I know is that it feels like forever. But no one ever tells you that forever feels like home. Sitting all alone inside your head. Naruto wiped his tears away. Soon, I'll be born, and then. Naruto balled his fists up as he bared his teeth. I refuse to let myself live through that again. I'll protect them, I'll stop it from happening. But if that ever happens again, I'll make sure I won't let myself be alone ever again. Naruto would give up anything just to be with them. Just to live the life that he dreamed of having for all his life. Naruto stared at the ceiling as he couldn't hold it back any longer. Tears came down his cheeks as Naruto closed his eyes. Damn it all. Why did it have to be this way? He asked himself. How do you feel? That is the question. But I forget you don't expect an easy answer. When something like a soul becomes initialized and folded up like paper dolls and little notes, you can't expect a bit of folks. So while you're outside looking in, describing what you see, remember what you're staring at is me. Anger, sorrow, and guilt filled his heart. He remembers everything they said, every word. That night of their deaths, the same night he was born, that night. 'Cause I'm looking at you through the glass. Don't know how much time has passed. All I know is that it feels like forever. But no one ever tells you that forever feels like home. Sitting all alone inside your head. How much is real? So much to question. An epidemic of the mannequins, contaminating everything. We thought came from the heart. But never did right from the start. Just listen to the noises. Null and void instead of voices. Naruto finished taking his bath. Naruto changed into a pair of PJ that Kushina left for him outside the door. Naruto wore the PJ well, it fitted his size. Naruto went over to the staircase and looked down below to see his parents together. Before you tell yourself, it's just a different scene. Remember, it's just different from what you've seen. I'm looking at you through the glass. Don't know how much time has passed. And all I know is that it feels like forever. But no one ever tells you that forever feels like home. Sitting all alone inside your head. Naruto watched as his parents, although it was a peacefully moment. Minato was resting his head on Kushina's lap as Kushina smiled at her husband as the couple kissed, showing their love for each other. 'Cause I'm looking at you through the glass. Don't know how much time has passed. And all I know is that it feels like forever. But no one ever tells you that forever feels like home. Sitting all alone inside your head. And it's the stars. The stars that shine for you. And it's the stars. The stars that lie to you, yeah. And it's the stars. The stars that shine for you. And it's the stars. The stars that lie to you. Yeah. I don't belong here. My birth marked the end of my parents. What if this wasn't supposed to change? Being here will endanger the time. Why am I here? To change the past so I can be with my parents, to be loved. To have my life I was robbed. The more Naruto thought of it, the more of all of this was a mistake, one big mistake. Before Naruto left the staircase, he overheard them spoke. Minato, that Naruto is a sweet boy. He reminds me how handsome you were when we were young. Kushina giggled. I would say he remind me of you. His eyes are like yours. I can tell he's an orphan. I did some background checking while you two were cleaning up. There is no Naruto in any of Konoha files. He's an orphan who found a Konoha headband, maybe off a dead leaf ninja. Minato guessed. Still, he doesn't have a family. His eyes tell me he hungrier for family and love. His eyes were like mine's before I met you, Minato. Kushina frowned. How about we take him in as our own? Let's adopted him, what ya say, Kushina? Minato said. He smiled afterwards. Well, it's going to be a while before the baby comes. I'm sure having Naruto around will help us become better parents. I would gladly adopt him. After all, he's a handsome little guy. Kushina grinned. I'm looking at you through the glass. Don't know how much time has passed. Oh God, it feels like forever. But no one ever tells you that forever feels like home. Sitting all alone inside your head. There's no need to adopt me. You already have me inside you, Mom. Naruto whispered. 'Cause I'm looking at you through the glass. Don't know how much time has passed. All I know is that it feels like forever. But no one ever tells you that forever feels like home. Sitting all alone inside your head. I'm sorry, so sorry. I want to tell you who I am. And I really wanted to tell you, I love you guys. Naruto started to feel strange as he slowly saw himself disappear bit by bit. As all that was left of him was his head. No, 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 not now. No. Naruto's mind screamed. And it's the stars. The stars that shine for you, yeah. And it's the stars. The stars that lie to you, yeah. Naruto vanished from this timeline knowing a little more about his parents. Seeing how kind-hearted they were, and together they were a perfect couple. But time and life is cruel, as we all can't have what we desire the most. As for Naruto, it would be coming home to his parents. Minato, we need a good name for the baby. Kushina pointed. A very good question. I am sure any name will fit our boy well. Minato chuckled. Nope, not a boy, it's a girl. Kushina grinned. I'm sure either name we picked will be perfect for our little girl. And she'll have a big brother keeping her safe. Minato laughed. And it's the stars. The stars that shine for you, yeah. And it's the stars. The stars that lie to you, yeah, yeah. Who are the stars? Who are the stars that lie? Naruto opened his eyes to find himself back inside his apartment, laying down on his bed. Naruto felt his tears crying out. He wanted to stay there, he wanted more time, he just wanted to stay there, see the life with his parents. Naruto held his head as he finally let it out. Letting out his pain, his sorrow, his anger, all of it in one furious shout. Ah! Naruto's calm blue slowly changed to malice red. I have to find that scroll, maybe there's more on it. That scroll gave me hope, I pray it can help me change their fate. I don't care if I can't change it or not, I won't stay by and do nothing. I am going to save my parents. Today was the day of the Chunin exams, finals would come. All were happy, this day has finally come. All but Naruto, of course, now knowing a bit of the truth he has within his mind. He didn't really cared about entering the exams now, but rather finding the forbidden scrolls again. Knowing Sarutobi moved them after the event that happens with Mizuki. What will you do now? You can't just ask the old fool where he hidden the scrolls. Naruto heard Kurama's voice spoke out to him. I don't know, Kurama. But I am so close, time just ran out for me. I need to find a way to stay in the past. I need to see them again. I want to be with them. They're my parents. I need to be there. I belong there, I know it. Naruto told his inner demon. These fools here have no idea the pain you've been given. Together we can do so much, Naruto. Let's make it quick, the past waits for us. Naruto agreed with his inner demon. Yes, let's. Few hours later. Village hidden in the leaves. Chunin exam finals arena. Naruto slid into the arena and stood next to Shikamaru. Think we can get through it all, Naruto? Shikamaru asked lazily. Yeah, we made it this far. Naruto smirked. Alright, quit talking you two. Stand up straight and look proud. The Junin named Genma said gruffly. Naruto looked around and saw thousands of people in the audience, waiting eagerly for the fighting talk begins. Gaara, Temari, Kankuro, Shino, Shikamaru, Neji and Naruto were all there, but Sasuke Uchiha and Dosu was missing. That didn't matter much to them. They were all here to win. The 7 of you are the competitors in this last round of the Chunin exams, Genma said promptly. Welcome all to today's event. Sarutobi the third Hokage shouted, all the while smiling down at the genin who had made it to the exams. Everyone cried out with joy and anticipation, clapping wildly. This is it. This is my moment, Naruto thought. Now then let the final event of the Chunin exams begin. May the best ninja win. Your pride and your dreams will all be tested to the best of your abilities. Fight hard and give it everything you have. Down below, Genma said, first match shall be Neji Hyuga versus Naruto Uzumaki. Everyone in the crowd cheered as Gaara, Temari, Kankuro, Shikamaru and Shino left the area, leaving Naruto and Neji alone. You'll pay for what you did, Hinata, Naruto said, glaring menacingly at Neji, who smirked. She was your cousin, your family, and you tried to kill her. When it comes to deadly exams to test one's abilities, family or friendship do not matter, Neji replied. What matters is that fate dictates what happens to the weak and the strong. Hinata was weak, so I simply put her in her place. Naruto pumped his right fist at Neji. I'll make you eat those words. Everyone watched the battle down below. The battle between Uzumaki and Hyuga will win and show everyone just how powerful they are. While the battle took place, elsewhere another matter was underhand. Sarutobi's office. Naruto was searching around through Sarutobi's desk hoping to find the forbidden scrolls here. Naruto have sent his shadow clone to face off with Neji. Naruto put a lot of chakra into his clone, making it a bit tougher than his normal clones, hoping that alone will be enough to keep everyone busy. But again Naruto found nothing, but suddenly Naruto heard someone coming. Naruto looked up at the ceiling and used the secret hidden ceiling path to escape whoever was coming. Naruto waited in place to hear who had entered the room. No one entered the room. Naruto sigh in relief. Naruto crawl his way through the ceiling dusts. While crawling Naruto stopped when he overheard someone talking. Naruto stabbed the ceiling pad with a small hole with his kunai. Naruto peeked with his right eye to see who was talking. It was the 3 elders of Konoha: Homura Mitokado, Koharu Udatane and Danzo Shimura. Naruto raised his left eyebrow, curious why the 3 elders were here rather at the Chunin exams finals like everyone else. This year's Chunin exams is indeed different from the ones few years back. Homura said with a small smirk. Yes, and right now, Naruto Uzumaki should be against Neji Hyuga right about now. Koharu said. Yes, that is correct. But that isn't why I have summoned you two. Danzo said to the 2 elders. What is it then, Danzo? Koharu asked. The rule of Sarutobi. I have a feeling it will end soon. And we must act to find the next person in becoming the Hokage. As you know, Sarutobi was forced to take the role of Hokage after Minato's death. Danzo said. Yes, Minato's death was a great lose. He was the youngest to ever become Hokage. Losing Kushina was also a great lose. But that is nothing but the past now. Their child Naruto Uzumaki has no clue who he is and how important he is to us. Homura spoke. He's nothing but a tool, and so was his mother. Kushina would have become the perfect weapon, but however, thanks to Minato, she grown soft. We originally planned her to be wedded to an Uchiha. They would have created a powerful child. Danzo said. That may be true, but isn't Naruto alone worthy enough? He may be a half-blooded Uzumaki. But he is his mother's son. And he is also Minato's son. The son of an Uzumaki and a Hokage. Koharu said to Danzo with a heavy frown. Danzo let out an unpleased chuckle. The reason why he lives because he has the Kyuubi and he is the last Uzumaki Konoha has. Without those 2 things he is nothing but a dead weight. If only Minato had only thing, then maybe we could have gone with our plan. Then again he could become a useful weapon if it wasn't for the fault of Sarutobi. Sarutobi knew Naruto was too young. Koharu told Danzo. Bah, he is a ninja like the rest of us. The Uzumaki clan was once a powerful race, master of the sealing jutsu. Their power rivaled that of the Uchiha clan and the Senju clan. Danzo sighed. Naruto will not posses that he is a half Uzumaki. We need a pure Uzumaki for that. A half won't do without the need of another, and Minato was from no clan. He may be the fastest but not the powerful or the strongest Hokage we have. Naruto bare his teeth while hearing the elders told. Naruto felt his hatred grow bit by bit. His emotions grow bitter and dark, but he closed his eyes as his anger vanishes. Naruto remember he can forget this timeline and go to the past and change thing if he can. Naruto crawl his way through the dusts for a while. While crawling, the ceiling pad suddenly broke as Naruto crashed down into a dark room. Naruto got up from crashing down. Naruto brushed the dirt off his clothes and looked around the dark room. Naruto found a flashlight and used it to look around in the dark room. This must be the Hokage room, he said to himself. The scroll must be here. He nodded. Naruto looked around for the scroll for a few seconds until he saw a large scroll sitting on a large table. Naruto went over to the table and smiled. Found it, he said with a large smile. Naruto opened the scroll as he searched for the part where the time seal jutsu was. Naruto looked to see where it was. It didn't take him to find it. Naruto found the jutsu he was searching. Naruto ripped the piece out of the forbidden scroll. Naruto hid the piece within his shirt. Once that was taken care of, Naruto decided to use this time to read the rest of the scroll. The more Naruto read, the more he got interesting what else this scroll had. Naruto found many other jutsu within it, but none of them grabbed his attention. Naruto noticed beside the forbidden scroll there was a small book with the name Minato was on it. It was Naruto's book. Naruto frowned to see his father's book was here and not in the hands of his son. Naruto opened the book and what came out was a small picture as it fell down. Naruto reached down to grab it as Naruto frowned upon seeing the picture. It was a picture of Minato and Kushina together in their happiest moment of their lives. Naruto felt his heart crack upon seeing the picture, but Naruto put the picture into his right pocket. Naruto read Minato's book. He read on about Minato's life. How he met Kushina and how she changed his life. And how wonderful woman she was, and a bit about Kushina's origin. Naruto read on as Minato spoke of the homeland the Uzumaki once homed was off the coast of the Land of Fire. Naruto would need a boat to get to there. Naruto took the book with him as Naruto searched around and saw an old map of lands. There were places that weren't on the map that were made in this timeline. Knowing where the Uzumaki homeland once was, the name of it was Uzushiogakure. Naruto grew a wide smile. So, I've won. Mixing my chakra with Kurama's did the trick with the shadow clone. That clone is stronger than your normal clones. You can say that clone is your brother Naruto. He'd played his part, soon he'll vanish. Use this time to escape so we can return to the past. Kurama told Naruto. Time to say goodbye, he said to himself. Naruto left the room through the door. Naruto closed the door after letting out a small sigh as he frowned. The more Naruto thought of returning to the past, the more he thought what would happen to this timeline. Will stay the same or will it change upon his actions? Naruto shook his head. They don't need me. They never needed me. Naruto. What are you doing here? A voice spoke. Naruto looked to his right to see a Junin was there. Naruto's eyes widened as he was caught for sure. Naruto did what he had to do. Sorry, forgive me. Naruto dashed towards the Junin and kneed him in the stomach and took off in a hurry. Outside of Konoha, Naruto rushed through the forest of Konoha. Naruto knew his shadow clone had vanished and now all of Konoha was looking for him and the forbidden scrolls. Naruto made his choice. He was done with this world. And he wanted was to return to where he was needed the most. Naruto looked over his right shoulder to see a bolt of lightning launch at him. Naruto dodged to his right only to crash into a tree. Naruto fell down hard. Naruto's back ached upon the impact. Naruto shook his head after getting up. Naruto saw the people he didn't really want to see. Naruto frowned. Who were there? Kakashi and Sasuke. What do you want? He asked the two. Naruto, where are you going? Kakashi asked. My business is none of your concern. The Uzumaki yelled while glaring at the two. The Chunin exams are the other way. We were just returning. Sasuke said. Fine, you can go ahead and enter. You're late anyway. Naruto laughed. Naruto, tell me what's wrong. This is unlike you to be leaving, especially during an event like this. Kakashi told the young blonde in front of him. As I said, None of your business. I'm done with Konoha and you can't stop me. You'd risk the price of becoming a Rouge ninja. Kakashi stared stupefied at his student's approximations. If you want to capture me or kill me, by all means try. I care not for the lives of that village anymore. Why should I protect a village that treats me as dirt? Or a dead last? Naruto started to growl. You're an idiot, Naruto. You're just as important as everyone else. You're an idiot and a fool, but you're also a ninja. Sasuke said, getting cocky due to his inflated ego. You think I'm not serious? You think I'm pissing around, don't you? Naruto bared his teeth and pointed at the two ninja in front of him accusingly. You becoming a Rouge ninja? You can't be serious, Naruto. The young Uchiha said, as a heart attack. Get in my way and I will hurt the both of you. I was always jealous of you, Sasuke. You had everything I wanted. Respect. Being known, cared, loved. The only way you're not kicked out of the exams because who you are. You are an Uchiha and I am an Uzumaki. It makes me sick to know how low this village has. Naruto growled. What are you talking about, Naruto? You know the Uchiha clan helped the creation of the Leaf Village along with the first Hokage. Sasuke told the young Uchiha. That's only half of the truth. But none of it matter and none of it ever will. If I stay, I will continue to be nothing but weak to you all. And you, Kakashi. You made me sick. I know who was your sensei and yet here you are training Sasuke the most and not of me. What do you think my father would say? Naruto felt his anger boil within his veins. Naruto, how do you? Naruto cut off Kakashi. Because I found my father's book work and I know everything, Kakashi. What I know is lies and pain which you are only currently adding on to. So get out of my way or you will suffer. Naruto's eyes changed to malice red. His fingernails grew and sharp as his teeth became sharp fangs. Naruto, calm down, I am sure all of this can be explained. You are important, you just don't know how much. Kakashi told him. Lies. Nothing but lies. Don't listen to them. They hate you. They never wanted you. Kakashi wouldn't have neglected you if it weren't for that. Give in to your anger, and set it free. Kurama's voice whispers to Naruto. Naruto felt his anger flowing and his blood start to boil. Naruto went down on all fours and closed his eyes as he let out an inhumane howl of anger. Naruto's was giving off a foul presence of chakra, which blanketed him like a coat in the shape of a fox, and he grew a long red tail as the rest of the Yuki covered his body. Naruto dashed towards Kakashi and Sasuke with unbelievable speed. Naruto's red tail slapped Kakashi away as Naruto grabbed Sasuke by the throat and pinned him to a tree. Sasuke looked as Naruto's malice eyes were filled with rage. You know what it's like to have a family. In the start I had pitied you because you lost your family and so did everyone else. I envied you, Sasuke. What you had, but never in my life have I felt like that. Felt what you had on your mind straight down to your very soul. To know you had a family and people who cared about and loved you. I knew nothing about who my parents were, how much they loved me, how much they wanted to be a part of my life. But the village kept that from me and they lied to me about it too. The old man and his old friends, Kakashi sensei, and only Kami knows who else. Naruto's right hand tightened around Sasuke's neck and he started to choke. Why take your anger out on me? It is because you know you're weak, because you know that I will always be better than you. Or is it the fact you finally know how cold the world is, Naruto? You're a ninja, you should know I suffer every day, when knowing I will never get to be with my parents ever again. So don't tell me I don't what it's like to be alone. What do you know of suffering? You had nothing to begin with. Naruto's eyes widen upon Sasuke's words. But you were never lied to, you had your family. I had a family too, but they were taken from me the day I was born. Look at you. You got people who respect you, girls falling for you, others want to challenge you. And you take all of that for granted. Naruto bore his fangs at the two people in front of him who shivered at seeing the two ends of the fangs protruding from his lips. Because none of that would replace my family. Sasuke said. Family is people who care for her. They're not just people who shares blood with you. What about you, Naruto? Don't you have a family? Naruto heard Kakashi's voice. Naruto frowned as he remembers the good times he had with Team 7, Iruka, Sarutobi and the rookies. But the more Naruto thought about it, the more he loosened his grip on Sasuke's neck. After a while, Naruto finally let go of Sasuke, who ran away at seeing his longtime rival so enraged. Family are people who care about you. Who truly cares about you, Sasuke? Naruto suddenly screamed as he felt a burning sensation pass through his temples and held his head with both his hands. Naruto. We have to get him back. Kakashi said. He's fast. Sasuke frowned. Naruto ran on all four as if he was an animal. Naruto's speed was fast. It was difficult for Sasuke and Kakashi to caught up with Naruto. Naruto looked over his right shoulder to see them following him. Naruto stopped right in his tracks and looked at his two former teammates. Naruto held his breath as his cheeks puff. As Naruto let out a howling screaming as the shockwave blast through the path of Kakashi and Sasuke. Naruto's shockwave breath case many trees and bushes ripped from the ground destroys a small piece of the forest. Naruto dashed off again hoping that would slow down the Konoha ninjas. After 3 hours on the run, Naruto stopped at an area. Naruto looked around to see nobody was there. Naruto's travel made him thirsty. Naruto looked over to see a large lake of fresh water. Naruto went over to get a handful of water. While drinking the fresh water, Naruto his reflection in the water, seeing how changed he looked. Naruto stared at his blood color eyes. How of a monster he looked. Am I just a monster? A deadweight freak like everyone said I am? He asked himself. Those who don't understand the unknown fear it and flee before it. A new voice spoke. Naruto quickly looked behind to see who was there. However, when he turned around, Naruto thought his mind was playing tricks on him. Over here, the voice said. Naruto looked over in front to see a man from across the lake. The man had red hair and a red color beard. The man was shown wearing a large headpiece consisting of a three-pointed crown-like ridge, bearing both his Iwagakure forehead protector and ring, and a prominent black piece of armor running across his cheeks and the bridge of his nose. He dressed himself in a long-sleeved purple shirt and pants, with a mesh armor shirt underneath, and brown armor. He also had a bag tied on his waist, most likely containing ninja tools. Who are you? Naruto asked. I am a host like you. He said. Naruto glared at the red-haired man. Naruto looked away as he went back to drink the fresh water of the lake. Judging by your clothes, you are the Konoha Jinchuriki, aren't you? The man said. Naruto didn't speak, only drank his water. The man noticed the look in Naruto's eyes, the look of being lost. Naruto closed his eyes as he sighed. The red chakra that covered his body vanished, but his eyes were still red. What do you want? He asked the man. Nothing. I am just a ninja on his way home. I am surprised Konoha allow their Jinchuriki to roam freely. The man again notices the same look within Naruto's eyes. Do you have a family? Naruto asked the man. Yes. He answered. Lucky you. Naruto chuckled. You are lost. I know those eyes all too well. You are not sure what to do. Or are you confused? The man said. If I am so important to them, then why do they treat me like nobody? The years of being lonely, the lies, their cold, hateful eyes. My parents gave their lives so I may live, and this is my reward for their sacrifice. Naruto bite his bottom lip as he draw blood. What's your name, kid? The man asked. Naruto. Naruto Uzumaki. He introduced himself to the red-haired man. Naruto saw the man grew a wide smile of sudden. Ah, and Uzumaki, it's been years since I've met one. You are the last one of Konoha then, are you? The man asked Naruto. How so I know? Am I the last one or are there more? I don't know. There's so much I don't know because everyone kept me in the dark. Why? Naruto held his head as he cursed. Easy kid, there's no need to be using your Biju power just because you are confused. That isn't power you have there. What you have there is the soul and power of a living being. You aren't the only one who is suffering, kid. Your Biju knows this, it knows your pain. How I know? I am the host of the four-tailed Biju Son Goku. Name's Roshi. I've been his host for over 30 years. Roshi explained. Naruto frowned as the four-tailed host. I just don't know what to do. All I want was to have a family. Is that too hard to ask? I didn't want this power. All I want is my family. A good life, but all I got was nothing. Pain, loneliness, hate. Sure, I got friends, but they don't know what I am. If they do, all they will do is just pity me or fear me. Roshi listened to Naruto's words as he felt what the boy was going through. He and the boy were the same, both hosts, some by choice or in the boy's view a forced choice. If you never understand the path you were given, Then you will never understand the reason why you live, why you survive. Do you remember your reason? Roshi asked. I do. I know. I live because of my parents. They gave their lives for me. If they didn't, I would be dead. If I wasn't born then, maybe they would have survived. Naruto felt his heart once again crack upon the guilt of his parents' death. He was the reason why they were killed. The truth itself can become lies. History is written by the victors, but remember, not all of history is true. Sometimes you'll have go back and discover the truth. Roshi turned away and walked off into the woods. Naruto watched as Roshi disappear into the forest. He's an odd man. Enough of worrying, let's go back and change things for good. Kurama said to Naruto. Right. Naruto nodded. Naruto took out the piece of the forbidden as he read the time seal jutsu. Naruto read how to stay in the past. Chakra is life. So if I want to stay in the past, I have to put a lot of chakra into it. Chakra is needed. Kurama, I am gonna need your help with this one. Like before, Naruto performed the time seal jutsu, however this time, Naruto put all of his chakra into it as he also felt Kurama put in his share. Naruto felt his body ache in pain. He felt as if his body was being torn inside out. Suddenly Naruto spit a glob of blood from his mouth. Naruto looked down to see a kunai coming out of his stomach. Naruto's vision was failing him as he heard the voice of a man spoke to him. 5 elements seal. Naruto felt his chakra being locked up. Naruto could hear the sound of Kurama roaring in fury. Naruto felt his chakra leaving him so quickly. Forgive me, kid, but that jutsu is forbidden. It kills every user, more time he or she uses it. I'll seal your chakra, which should keep you in that realm. I know you belong with them. This wound isn't deep, you've live. The least I can do is help you ease your pain. Rest well, kid. And Naruto, tell Minato I am sorry I couldn't look over you as I had promised. Change the past for a better future. Shape the future of your family and the village hidden in the leaves. Goodbye, Naruto. The voice was so familiar to Naruto's ears. But Naruto didn't look back. Naruto felt the unknown person put a small journal into his right pocket. The kunai ripped from his stomach. Naruto couldn't handle the pain and fell into the lake. When Naruto fell into the lake, it gave off a strange aura and looked like it was glowing a little bit. Naruto opened his eyes to see he was only inches away to falling and hitting the surface of the it. Naruto looked upward to see the shadow of person looking down at him. Naruto closed his eyes as he finally hit the water and drifted into the murky abyss. Time seal, was his last thoughts as the lake glowed brightly with a bright blue light. 12 years ago. Konoha passed. July 1st. Again, like before, Naruto awoke to the sound of falling rain. Naruto opened his crystal blue eyes and groaned as he found out that he was in the alley between a couple stores. It was a rainy day of Konoha. Naruto crawled out of the small pathway on his stomach while wincing a little at the pain it caused due to his injury. Naruto felt himself was on the edge of death. Naruto crawled again and again out of the alleyway. Naruto coughed hard as blood spit from his mouth. What ya think of the clothes we got for the baby Kushina? A young voice spoke. They are wonderful, Shizune-chan. Since Minato got his hands full with being Hokage, I am glad you and Tsunade came to help. Kushina chuckled. Naruto heard the voice of his mother. Naruto began to crawl a bit faster. The more he crawled, the blood he draw. Naruto didn't care about the wound or his sealed chakra. Naruto kept on crawling. Kushina was accompanied by 2 young girls and 1 older woman. The 2 girls were young, about the age of 16 and of 12. The 16-year-old was a young black-haired girl, while the second girl, who was 12, was a purple-haired girl. The older woman was a busty long blonde-hair woman. I am sure the baby shower will be wonderful. It's only within a week. The blonde-hair woman said. I am sure it will be. Kushina said with a small smile, but she soon grown a frown. What's wrong, Kushina? The purple-haired girl asked. It's been about 7 months since Naruto disappeared. We thought it was going well. He looked like the type to be a great son. I wonder where he is now. Kushina said with a frown. I don't know who this Naruto kid is, but if anything he was a hungry orphan, I wouldn't worry too much, Kushina. Take it from somebody like me, there are a lot of people looking for a home in this world. Said the blonde, now identified as Tsunade. I guess so. Kushina nodded. As the group of walked by the alleyway, Naruto missed them by a second. Naruto watched with tears in his eyes as he saw his mother walk away. Naruto was too weak to scream, but he tried anyway. But his scream failed as he started coughing, and more blood flew from his mouth and splattered along the ground. Naruto was panting hard. He started to hyperventilate shortly after. Naruto held his breath as he dug his fingers into his wound, which causes him to scream out in pain. Ah, ah, Ka-san. Naruto shouted. Suddenly Naruto heard the sound of footsteps rushing towards him, and he grew a small smile since he knew someone had heard him. Naruto closed his eyes as he blacked out from the pain caused by the pressure applied to his wound. Naruto woke up to the sound of beeping. He opened his eyes fully and saw he was hooked to a life support. Next, Naruto slowly looked around to see he was inside a room, and judging from the looks of it, was most likely the hospital. Naruto felt weak, weaker than what he had originally thought. The time-space ninjutsu had done a very large number on him. His stomach and chest were throbbing unbearably, and found as he tried to move, he couldn't, and winced at the pain that shot through his spine when he tried to move at all. Naruto noticed his clothes were gone, considering he was wearing the standard hospital clothes for patients. The young Uzumaki wondered who found him and what. No, the question he should be asking is when exactly was he transported. Sighing, he looked himself over only to find his stomach was wrapped in bandages. Naruto felt like crap. Plain and simple, he knew there was something wrong with him. It was just that feeling a fellow got when he was in trouble. It just wasn't the same. Maybe I used too much chakra. I guess I'll find out once I'm healed, he thought. Then there was a soft knock on the door, and Naruto watched as he saw his father enter the hospital room. He saw a small frown etched across his face before it turned into a smile, and Naruto idly thought what he had come for. It's good to see you again, Naruto. Minato's smile made Naruto a bit curious on why he was here. Naruto watched Minato taking a seat nearby the bed. Minato looked at Naruto's state. Naruto saw a look of sadness dance in his eyes before it completely dispersed. Kushina and I looked everywhere for you. Why did you leave? He asked, and Naruto noticed it was out of pure genuine concern. He didn't answer, and Minato's frown deepened as if in response. Kushina found you in the alley, and you wouldn't believe how frantic she was. For a second I thought it was premature labor. Minato laughed. But nope, she found you as you had left and brought you here. Minato looked at Naruto with a smile before his demeanor softened. We thought you were just another average orphan. Naruto closed his eyes for a moment before he reopened them, suddenly gaining the strength to speak to his father, albeit nervously at first, and deciding to go through with it at the end. I'm sorry, Minato. I had problems to deal with. I always felt I wasn't needed or didn't fit in. And you and Kushina are perfect for each other. I didn't want to ruin that, especially since you two are going to be parents soon. I didn't have family when growing up. I crave so much for affection that it hurts, and 12 years is a long time to be an orphan. Unloved. No family. No friends. I'm alone, and I hate it. Minato could feel the pain in Naruto's voice and couldn't help but wince a little. No child should have to go through that. I just want a family. Is that so hard to ask? Lies, betrayal, being hated for no reason. I just hate it. Minato saw Naruto shed a drop of tear. Naruto, you're a Jinchuriki, aren't you? He asked the young boy. Naruto remained silent, but he stared at Minato before his eyes shifted to the floor. Yes, he said. Which one? Which Biju I mean? Asked Minato. I cannot say. He answers. How did you found out? Your stomach, the seal on your stomach told us. Minato said, and Naruto mentally cursed. Do you hate me for what I am? Naruto asked. No. Why would I? Minato asks. No. Reason. Naruto looked away. I see. Well, I want you to know neither I nor Kushina care about that. We want you, Naruto. We want you to be a part of our family. Very soon our child will be born, and Kushina and I have never been parents, so we thought maybe having you around will make us better parents. How does that sound? Would you like that? Minato asked. Naruto felt afraid, something he hadn't felt in a long time, and he didn't like it. He wasn't sure why, but he just felt it. Was it the fear of not being accepted by his parents once they know the truth, or was it the fact he was afraid he'll be alone again? Minato held Naruto's right hand. We'll make sure no one will hurt you. Your family now, Naruto. You're our son now, and both Kushina and I will love you the same as our firstborn. Thank you, Dad. Naruto smiled at the end. Where are my things? The young boy asked. Your clothes are kept underneath your bed. Don't worry, no one went through them. I made sure. Minato reached underneath the bed and handed Naruto his things. Well, I'll be back in a few hours. Rest up now, today you're going home with us. But I have paperwork. Being Hokage isn't easy. Minato laughed. Minato left Naruto alone in his, and Naruto's smile faded into a large frown as he gripped his bed sheets. Naruto couldn't let his guard down. He knew the days were counting down to that night of his birth. At that moment he made a soul promise to himself that he would save his parents from that fate. Naruto, searching through his things, found an extra item in his jacket pocket. Taking out a small journal, Naruto opened it and began to read. Naruto noticed there was a torn page. He wondered if he had torn it or if someone read the journal. Dear Naruto, I know your life must have been hell. And I am sorry I couldn't be there for ya kid. But, Naruto, I see what you are planning. Becoming strong to protect your loved ones is never wrong. But sometimes you cannot change what should be changed. Naruto, I know I don't have the right to tell you this. But whatever you do, I hope you do it for the sake of a better future. I know I don't deserve to be the sensei you were searching for. But I know Minato himself will fill that role well. Signed, Jiraiya. Naruto sighed as he closed the journal. I don't know what started this. But I'll find out what or who did this before it ever happens again. 2 days later. Dusk. Naruto stayed in his room for 2 days. Not a single thought of leaving the hospital came to his mind. He was focused on healing rather than doing something stupid this time. His body was pretty banged up. He had healed hours ago, but he still felt like crap. Naruto reading Minato's journal of his timeline, finding more about his father in the journal. But hearing the sound of a knock on the door, Naruto placed the journal back inside his jacket pocket. As the door opened, he was greeted by Minato and a blonde, busty woman. Naruto wondered who she was and why she was there. So this is the young brat that ran away 7 months ago, the woman said. Naruto stared at the woman for a moment before he looked away as a heavy frown appeared on his face. Minato could see Naruto was upset for some reason, but he still didn't look well. In fact, Naruto looked worse. There were bags underneath Naruto's eyes. Naruto looked very ill. His skin had a lighter tone, as if there was something quite literally sucking the life out of him, as the woman checked on Naruto's status. Everything seems normal. No fever. Have you been resting? She asked as Naruto nodded. Strange. This boy doesn't seem sick, but he sure does look like it. The woman known as Tsunade thought. I'll be right back. Tsunade told the two, which gave them a chance to chat. We built you a room, Naruto. Minato told the young boy. As Minato showed Naruto a picture he took of the room, Naruto's eyes widened in surprise to discover what was now his. The room was any normal bedroom, but it was almost like his apartment. The room was clean and looked fresh, as if they just finished it. Naruto looked at Minato. My room. This is my room, he asks his father as Minato nodded. It originally was the basement below the compound. I redid this room while you were in the hospital. As I said, your family, Naruto. Kushina, and I mean that. Minato smiled at the young boy. Why? I don't understand. You barely know me. Naruto frowned. Minato sat down in a chair beside Naruto. It's hard to explain. There's something that told me you're like us. That you shouldn't be alone, and I know what it's like not having a family. Like you, I was an orphan, but however, I was raised by my adopted family. Sometimes there's no need to have a reason to help a person in need. Yeah, I guess so. Naruto smiled a little. Kushina will be having her baby shower tonight. You don't mind staying here unless you're into sitting around watching a bunch of women flaunting over her. Naruto shook his head. Can I go home? Naruto asked curiously. You need rest, Naruto. Your wounds aren't fully healed and rest is definitely what your body needs. Naruto again nodded his head. While spending time with Naruto for the moment, Minato thought back to 6 days ago. Flashback. Minato rushed to the hospital after being called in by his wife, Kushina. Upon entering, he saw that she and her friends were already waiting. Minato rushed to his wife. Kushina, what's wrong? Is the baby okay? What the matter? He asked his beautiful redhead wife. Kushina had nothing but look of sadness in her eyes. It's Naruto. We found him barely alive. He's in ER right now. Tsunade and her team are working on him right now. They don't know if he's going to make it or not. Kushina told her husband with tears pouring down his eyes. Minato hugged his wife. It was horrible, Minato. Who in their right mind would do such a thing to a boy like him? Kushina said, and Minato could tell by the look on her face that she was devastated. Where are Naruto's things? If anything, they should have left clues. He told his wife. Hokage-san. A voice called out to Minato. The young Hokage turned around to see a nurse who carried in Naruto's clothes. Minato was given the clothes and he thanked the young nurse as he stared at Naruto's jacket and noticed there was blood all over Naruto's clothes. Minato. Minato looked to his right to see Tsunade was walking towards the couple. Minato noticed Tsunade wore a pair of gloves, but the gloves were covered in blood. How is he? He asked Tsunade. Alive for now. If we didn't act soon he would have died. Is it because of the stab wound? Kushina asked. Tsunade shook her head. No, that isn't it. Someone blocked this boy's chakra. The body needs chakra. His chakra system is blocked mostly around the stomach. We were able to unblock the chakra line from his heart and lungs. His wounds are healing but slow. He'll be up in a few days. Whoever did this wasn't a pro sealing master. Whoever it was couldn't kill the boy. And also there is something else you need to know. What is it? Minato asked. Follow me. Kushina and Minato follow Tsunade to the room Naruto was being kept. The couple frowned upon what they saw. The three enter the room. Minato and Kushina gasped what they found. Naruto's stomach had sealing marks on it. Yes, he is a Jinchuriki. Which one? I have no clue. This could be the reason why he left. Poor kid, whoever did this to him wanted him to suffer. I've never seen a wound like this before, much less on a child. He's real low on chakra, barely could pass as a civilian. I am surprised he survived at all. Tsunade explained, and she left the room to give them the time they needed to be alone with the boy. Poor Naruto. If I knew this would happen, I would never have let him leave. Minato said. Kushina frowned, seeing her husband feel the blame of what was happening. Don't beat yourself up, Minato. If there is one thing I know, Naruto was afraid of being accepted by us. Being a Jinchuriki is not easy, especially as an orphan. Kushina smiled a little at her husband before she shared her own little frown. Minato held Kushina's right hand. Let's adopt him. Naruto Namikaze Uzumaki. Has a nice ring, doesn't it? Minato turned to smile at his wife. Kushina answered Minato with a nod. Minato noticed something on Naruto's stomach as he looked down at the seal on the boy's stomach. Minato raised his left eyebrow upon what he has discovered. Wait a minute. Kushina looked worried, wondering what her husband has found. What is it, Minato? Naruto's seal. It's my work. Minato looked greatly worried. What are you talking about? Kushina said. The seal is my work. Kushina looked over, staring at Naruto's seal, and her eyes widened. Minato was right, this was in fact his work. But how was it possible? What does this mean? Kushina asked her husband. I don't know, Kushina, but I will find out. Whoever made Naruto's seal knows copied me. Minato frowned and grit his teeth. Could someone have stolen it? She asked, now out of curiosity. I don't know. This worried Minato. How could his work? It didn't make any sense. But who was the most important part of the question? End of flashback. Minato returned home to see Kushina, Tsunade, and Kushina's best friend Makoto Uchiha, along with a few others who were friends of theirs. The baby shower was going well. Kushina was given many gifts, but however, Kushina couldn't help but sigh as there was something missing. Hey Minato, you just made it. We're just opened the first gift. Tsunade told the young Hokage. Minato smiled at the girls and head in the kitchen as he sat down in a chair. Kushina entered the kitchen. How is Naruto? Kushina asked. Minato stood up facing his wife and kissed her on the right cheek. He's doing fine. He still needs to heal, but he's doing just fine. He wanted to come home, but he can't leave just yet. I hope he gets better. Kushina sighed. Don't worry, I'm sure he will. I see in his eyes. He wants to be a part of our family. But I know there's something more to it. Naruto still hasn't opened himself to us. Minato explained. Could it be he's still afraid of whoever did that to him will come after him? Kushina wondered. I really want to be a part of this family. I really do, Minato. I'm not sure. But whatever it is, Naruto is our son now. And we'll protect him. Host or not, he is our son. The young couple smile at one another before they kiss. When you get the chance, can you fix Naruto's seal? You shouldn't leave a seal sealed like that, especially since it nearly killed him. Kushina said. I know, but for now Naruto is doing fine. Tomorrow let go and see him together. I'll fix his seal by then. Kushina smiled along with her husband as the two thought back when they visited Naruto 2 days ago. The flashback. 2 days back. Kushina and Minato came to the hospital to check on Naruto to see how he was doing. The nurse at the front desk told the couple where he was being held as they moved him to a new room. Room 55. Naruto's room. Naruto was alone in his bedroom. Naruto kept on thinking what he'll do once he's out of the hospital. Naruto hoped everything will turn out well in the end. Kurama, do have any clues on how my parents die? If you do, don't hold back, I want the truth. Naruto thought. A masked man, because of him I was set free. On the night of your birth a masked man came. Because of him your parents are dead and I was sealed inside you. If you want to stop this from happening we must kill him. Time is short for us, I don't think it's possible for you to become strong enough to take on him alone. I don't care if I die saving my parents, I'm fine by that. You do not care for your own well-being. What would your parents think if you die? That's not a problem, if I die I will be born. My mother is having me anyway, so it's no worry. They maybe be sad over my loss. But they never lost me to begin with. That is my choice. Kurama grew silence upon hearing his host's choice. Though being killed with the host will indeed kill him, Kurama would be revived but for some time though, but this worries the Kyuubi. Idiot, even if you die, they don't know you or their son. They don't know the truth. They will believe they lost their adopted son, not their actually son. Your death will affect others, not just me, or you remember that. Death can take it total. They die so I may live, but here they're alive. If they live then I won't have to go through the hell. Kurama, I know you don't want me to die. Because if I do, so does you. I am doing this to help my timeline to make it right. Just for you or everyone else. Screw everyone else. Why should I care about them? No one gave a single damn about me. They only care about me because I was annoying and also I have you. That is the only reason why I am alive. If I didn't have you, I would have been dead. Even with you I am completely worthless to their eyes. Anger boils in your veins. But tell me, are you angry at your parents? Remember they gave. No, they sealed me inside you. I killed them just by being born. What do you think? No, I take it. But surely thinking about the past and the pain of it will do us no good, kid. I can't forget. It left its mark on me. They were wrong to judge you, to see us with those hateful eyes. They do not know who we truly are, Naruto. They don't know what is it like to be judged without reason. They are nothing. Leave that timeline be. This is a new one, a new start for us. Naruto spoke with his voice rather than his thoughts. No, it's the same timeline. We hadn't made no changes to it, yet. If my parents die then everything will be the same as before. If they live the change can start. Kushina and Minato finally found Naruto's room as Minato was about to open the door. He overheard Naruto speaking to someone. Minato slightly opened the door to peek to see who Naruto was talking to. There was no one there, only an angry Naruto talking. Why should I care? Because they die not only for you but for the sake of Leaf Village, did they not? That's bullshit. My father, my mother, why did they left me? They didn't have to die. No one listened to my father's will. Why should I care about everyone? No one cared about me, they only pity me. They may not say it but I know. Naruto bit his bottom lips hard as he draw blood from his bottom lip. Naruto's eyes was filled with anger, saddest and most of all loneliness. That why I have to make everything right. I don't want to be alone again. I rather die than go through that again. To be alone since birth, to have no one raise me as their own. Sure, the old man took care of me but not for long. He couldn't replace the hole I had. My parents were dead. And I've been lied to my whole life. The secret about my parents, my clan history, everything, kept from me. Kushina and Minato felt a deep strike of sorrow upon what they heard. Hearing how lonely Naruto truly was and how he was hated and how no one was there for him as a child. Do you hate me? Naruto, do you hate me because I was the one who took them away from you? Kurama spoke with an honest tone. I do hate you, but I hate how everyone doesn't want me because I have you. Everyone either is afraid or hate me because of you or in me. My parents, mom, dad, what can I do? Naruto falls silent shortly after. Kushina, you go on back home, I'll take care of Naruto. Minato whisper. But Minato, Kushina frown. I got this. Beside, you shouldn't be doing so much. You and the baby need to relax more. I am just going to have a friendly chat with him. I am sure Tsunade want to see how he is doing as well. Minato smiled at his wife. Kushina nod agreeing with Minato. She kissed him before she left the hospital, leaving her husband to chat with their soon-to-be adopted son Naruto Uzumaki. After being visited by Minato, Naruto got a bit better. He didn't need to be placed under life support. It was the morning, and Naruto was wide awake. Naruto thought about his life living with Kushina and Minato. Though he would feel better now, he still couldn't shake the ill feeling as he felt there was something wrong. Naruto's seal that was on Naruto's mind, his seal. Kurama told him about how the seal that kept Kurama where he was different now. It was sealed, but the seal was always sealed. But Kurama felt the link between him and Naruto wasn't strong as it normally was. To Kurama's view, the seal was broken and needed to be fixed. Naruto was still weakened, but he wasn't weak enough to get out of the bed. Naruto grabbed a nearby wheelchair and got inside it. Naruto opened the door and left out. The hallways were quiet, not a single sight of a person was there. Naruto rolled to the flat stairways that were used for wheelchairs. Naruto went up to the rooftop of the hospital. Naruto noticed no one was there, which was perfect for him. Naruto wanted some fresh air as he watched the sun rise. Naruto watched upon the sight of the rising sun birthing a new day. Naruto's eyes widened as he felt someone's arms were wrapped around his neck. Naruto closed his eyes as he smiled. He felt someone also touched his right hand. Naruto looked to see Minato and Kushina were there right behind him. Minato and Kushina came to the hospital that morning to visit their dear Naruto. Naruto felt warm as his loneliness vanishes upon their presence. Minato and Kushina watched the sun rise with their adopted son. Naruto just wanted to tell he was happy they were with him. But he just couldn't say it. His voice never came out and only a smile replaced his voice. But their reaction is what he feared the most, what they would say if they knew who he was and where he came from. But right now he didn't care. At this moment all he cared about was being with his family. They were taken from him and he went back just to be with them. Few hours later. Now Naruto, hold still, this will hurt just for a moment. Minato told him. Naruto stood up with his pulled up, showing his seal to his parents. I will fix your seal. It seems whoever did this to you sealed off your chakra. Leave it alone, Naruto said to his father. Both Kushina and Minato were a bit shocked to hear him say it. But Naruto, Kushina said with a worried look. If my seal is fixed, I will disappear. I know I will. I don't want to disappear right now, not ever. I want to be with them. Naruto thought. Naruto, please, I have to do this. Your seal needs to be fixed or else your health will become worse. You have recovered but your chakra hasn't. Please Naruto, let me fix your seal. Minato explained to the young boy. Minato and Kushina felt it. Naruto was afraid he didn't want Minato touching his seal. Naruto touched his stomach as he wasn't sure what the outcome would have become. Minato reached out as he was about to touch Naruto's seal. Naruto grabbed Minato's right hand as angry glare came across Naruto's face. I said leave it alone. Don't touch my seal. Naruto gasped as he let go of Minato's right hand. I'm sorry. Just leave my seal alone, okay? I'm feeling better, okay? I'll get better, just leave my seal alone. Please dad. Naruto smiled at the end. Very well then Naruto, I will leave your seal alone. Minato nodded with a smile. Today the day you come home Naruto-kun. Kushina chuckled, while Naruto nodded. Namikaze resident. Naruto was in his room, which was the basement of the Namikaze. The bedroom was a fitting room for Naruto. Naruto lay there in his bed. Naruto was taking a nap, but however, he couldn't sleep. The sound of footsteps from above kept him up. The voices of his parents drew his attention the most. I'm living with my parents under the same roof. But why do I still feel like crap? I got my parents, but there's something missing. I can feel it. Naruto thought. Maybe it's because they are your parents but in the past. Or is it because you feel jealous that none of this will come true if we screw up? Or maybe it's the fact that our chakra is still sealed. We will have to get the seal undo one day, Naruto. It's screwing up for the both of us. What do you mean by the both of us? My chakra is seal as well. I can't reach you, remember? I can't heal you like I normally would or give you my power, but that 5-element seal is keeping me from it. I know you're scared of leaving them and being alone again, Naruto. But we'll die if our seal isn't fixed. Hasn't taken a good look at yourself. You look pale, kid, real pale. If I would say anything better, I would say you have cancer, chakra cancer. Naruto annoyed Kurama's voice as he turned to the right side. So, you're saying I'm dying? Yes, but only if our seal is not fixed. Remember, we were in the hospital for a while. You were healing with your normal healing abilities, but since most of our chakra was seal, there were many chance of the old cells weren't rid of. Also, they are worried about you, Naruto. Don't you want to see them happy? Isn't this what you wish for? Fine, I'll ask Dad to fix my seal, but right now, I just want to rest. Rest is for the dead. Sleep then. Naruto sweat drop as Kurama chuckled. Meanwhile, upstairs, I'm telling you, Kushina, I want to fix his seal. Naruto doesn't look well. We have to, or else. Minato frowned. I know, Minato, but it's Naruto's choice. I want his seal fixed too. But we don't want to force him. Who knows what kind of hell that boy been through to become a Jinchuriki, if he trusts us to fix his seal or not. Kushina frowned as Minato sighed. Minato nodded his head as he sighed. I am fully aware, Kushina. But it is Naruto's choice. I can't force him if he doesn't want his seal fix. For now, we will have to wait for an opening. Until then, we are a family and we have a son now. Minato kissed Kushina on her forehead as he placed his right hand over Kushina's stomach as Kushina smiled at her husband. It won't be long, Kushina said. I know, he said while smiling. Later that night, Naruto skipped dinner and remained in the basement of his room. The house was quiet. Naruto was wide awake, he couldn't sleep. His thoughts kept him awake. Naruto's thought on about his parents and his life with them, but this seal being the only possible thing keeping him here in the past, the only thing that has kept him in the past. But the thought of dying would only bring his family grief to his parents. Naruto got out of bed as he went upstairs. In the dark living room, Naruto found his way to the couch in the living room after bumping into a chair twice. Naruto sat there as he looked around the dark living room. He couldn't see a thing, yet he looked around. He sighed heavily. If I die, then my goal, my plans will go to waste. But I don't want to lose them. Man, this suck. Naruto lay down staring at the ceiling in the dark. Soon Naruto closed his eyes, entering the world of dreams. Soon morning came to Konoha while elsewhere was asleep but Minato, as he came downstairs while Kushina was still asleep. Seeing Naruto lying there asleep on the couch, Minato couldn't help but smile at his adopted son. But his smile turned into a frown as he wished to fix Naruto's seal before it get any worse. He remembers Tsunade's words that morning before taking Naruto home. Flashback. While the nurses were helping Naruto prepare to leave the hospital, Tsunade had a word with Kushina and Minato. What's wrong, Tsunade? Kushina asked. Tsunade sighed at first. It's about that kid. What about Naruto? Minato asked. Tsunade frowned at first before she spoke. He's dying, slowly. Dying how? What's the cause? Kushina asked while nearly holding her will to shout. His chakra has been deeply blocked and sealed. We were lucky to unlock just a few. We need to unlock that seal of his. It's the seal that's killing him. He won't die right away, but he will over time. His body needs chakra. His old chakra cells are mixing in with his body and his healing is rather slow, much slower even for a Jinchuriki like him. His wounds will heal completely, but by that time he'll be dead by then. Tsunade informed the couple. Is there anything we can do? Minato asked while Kushina nodded. There's A or B way of undoing the seal. Either you or Sarutobi-san can do it, maybe with an element seal, or B we can try and see what the Hyuga clan do. I'll give Naruto about 2 months before his body completely breaks down. Tsunade told the couple. Thank you, Tsunade. Tsunade nodded. Make it quick before the end of the week. I believe if we wait too long our options won't work. The body needs chakras to survive and that boy is dangerously low on his. He has chakra cancer. It's when old chakra cannot leave the body and with no new chakra being made. The old chakra takes total on the other cells within the body. Should we tell Naruto? Kushina asked. No, I don't think so. I am not sure if he knows, but he won't be happy about the news. Try and do it when he's asleep or when his guard is down. If he said he's fine, he's lying. Minato and Kushina nodded as Tsunade took her leave to other matters. End of flashback. Naruto's asleep. This is a perfect chance to fix his seal. Minato whispered. Just as Minato thought all was right, there was a knock on the door. The sound of the knock woke Naruto up. His sight was blurry as Minato quickly backed off and head towards the stairs, acting as if he was coming down the stairs. Naruto rubbed his eyes and saw Minato at the stairs. Dad. Minato smiled. Morning, Naruto. Oh, did you fell asleep on the couch? Minato acted surprise. Naruto paused as he remembered he blacked out. Yeah, I guess I did, he chuckled. Minato answered the door and saw his young student Kakashi Hatake. Morning, Minato-sensei. Kakashi waved. Kakashi, what brings you here? Minato asked, after yawning. Remember you said you were going to train me, don't you remember? The new jutsu you wanted to show me. Young Kakashi said. Minato slapped his forehead. Right, I'm sorry Kakashi. I forgot, not easy being a Hokage and your sensei at the same time, and especially with Kushina and the baby. It's okay Minato-sensei. Kakashi said. Kakashi noticed Naruto on the couch. Who's he? Kakashi asked. Kakashi, this is Kushina's and my adopted son, Naruto. Minato introduced his student to his adopted son. Little does he know these two be sensei and student in the future. Adopted son? Kakashi asked. Minato nodded. Yes, not too long ago we met Naruto. But we met again. Things got, well, out of hand. So we decide to adopt him as our own. Be nice, okay? Minato whispered to Kakashi. Kakashi walked over to Naruto and held out his right hand. Pleasure to meet you, Naruto, Kakashi Hatake. Naruto smiled at the young Kakashi, shaking his hand. Likewise. So sensei, are we training or what? Kakashi asked. Keep your headband on. It's the morning. Kushina is still asleep and I'm hungry. Minato sighed. But you told me don't eat breakfast before training. Kakashi said, while Minato sweat dropped. That was for the bell test only. Don't tell me you have been doing this for the past 4 years, Kakashi. Minato, while Kakashi and Naruto sweat dropped together. No, Kakashi lied while looking the other way while Minato eyed his student. Next time I'll fix your seal, Naruto. I won't have our daughter be born without her big brother to protect her. Minato thought. After breakfast was over, Minato and Kakashi left for training, leaving Naruto home with Kushina. Minato originally didn't want to leave Kushina alone, but since Naruto was home, he believed everything would be fine and that Kushina and Naruto would have a wonderful time together, and for Naruto getting to know his new mother. Naruto was in the living room on the couch again taking a nap. Naruto felt tired more often, he didn't know why, but he just did. He got enough sleep while in the hospital. Naruto felt a warm feeling, a gentle touch stroking through his hair. When Naruto woke, the first thing he saw was Kushina looking over him with her beautiful smile. Naruto gasped and quickly raised his head from Kushina's lap. Sorry, he said. What for? You were sleeping. You mumble in your sleep. She said. He paused. Lay back down. It's okay, Naruto, I'm here. I'm your Ka-san, yes. She smiled. Yeah, you are. He chuckled. Laying his head back down on Kushina's lap, Naruto stared at his mother before looking at her stomach. Within that stomach was his infant self, and very soon he would be born. Naruto, can I ask you question? Kushina asked. Sure, he said. Do you want us to be your parents? She asked. Why do you ask that? He wondered. I'm just wondering. Lately you've been far from us. You skip dinner. You rarely talk, and when Minato was about to touch your seal you panic. Is there something going on? If you don't want us, Naruto cut Kushina right off. No, it isn't that. I do want you guys to be my parents. It's just when I grew up, I didn't know who my parents or what they were like. I thought they didn't want me and left me. I know what I want, and what I want is to have parents. I want to be your son and I want to stay with you guys. Naruto said. Then why are you afraid of Minato touching your seal? She asked. Because the last time someone touched my seal, Naruto thought back to the encounter in the Forest of Death against that one odd grass ninja. Naruto closed his eyes thinking back. Because it hurt, it really hurt. I felt an unbearable pain through my body. I couldn't use my chakra and I felt so weak, so very weak. Just like when I was little. Everyone laughed at me because I was weak. I didn't want to be weak. So when my seal was fixed, I was strong again. So I decided to run away from my home. I ran away because I didn't want to be there. I didn't felt I was needed it. I wanted to be anywhere but there. I wanted to be with my parents. I wanted to see them, and ask why they left me. But my seal was touch again, but before that happened I made it back here. And you found me, Ka-san. Naruto opened his eyes to see tears running down Kushina's face. Her tears touched Naruto's nose and forehead. Ka-san, why are you crying? He asked. Because, you're my son now and I would never leave you. Minato and I will never let anyone hurt you anymore, Naruto-kun. You're my son, you're our son. You're an Uzumaki now. So please don't run away anymore, stay with us. Stay with your family. Naruto rose up looking at his mother as Kushina hugged Naruto. Naruto smiled, he felt Kushina's warm touch filled with her love for her son. The touch of being loved by his mother. You will always be loved, never forget that. Naruto remembered his mother's last words to him. So will you get our seal fix or not? Or will you wait until you rot away? Kurama asked. There's one thing I have to do before I can make that choice. Naruto thought. What? Tell them who I really am. Do you think they will accept it? They have to. I'm their son and they are my parents. They will love me no matter what. If we get our seal fix, I give you something in return. A reward of some kind. Something much bigger than just a reward, Naruto. I call it best of two worlds. Kurama chuckled. Well worth the wait, I guess. Elsewhere in Konoha Forest, Sir Minato and young Kakashi have left for the training grounds. A voice spoke in the dark. Good, a perfect chance to kidnap Kushina Uzumaki. We fail once, we will not fail again. And with the child of the fourth Hokage she carries, this will be a bonus day for us. Spoke a hidden cloud ninja. Little does they know a young Uzumaki will die to keep his family together and will stop at nothing to keep it that way. It was night, all were asleep. Naruto was in his room down in the basement of his parents' house. Naruto spent all day helping his mother out even though he was ill, that alone didn't stop him from helping Kushina. While helping out his mother, Naruto learned how Minato and Kushina met. It was one of the questions he always wanted to ask his parents. While Minato was out taking care of business as the fourth Hokage and also while training Kakashi Hatake as well. Naruto was asleep as he dreams away within his mind. The only soul that wasn't asleep but Kurama. Wide awake within Naruto's soul, the nine tails let out a sigh. Kurama stood on his two legs and closed his red eyes. Kurama's first tail twitch as his nose twitched twice. Suddenly everything around Kurama suddenly changed as if the background shift into another place. Kurama opened his eyes as the first thing that he glazes upon was himself, or rather his past self. As right in front of Kurama, bound and chained to a rock, was Kurama of the past. The nine tails of the past eyes widen in shock for what he saw before him. Another Biju. No, another Kurama. However, Kurama of the past saw Kurama of the future as the two glared at one another. Kurama of the past looked at his future self to see there was a large cell in front of him. We need to talk, Kurama said to his past self. Kurama of the past remained silent for a moment. What is it you want from me? A favor. And what favor do you want from me? Kurama of the past frowned, seeing his future self locked away in a better position. Seal. Chakra. Kurama said with a calm voice. Why? Past Kurama glared. My host needs it. Our chakra has been blocked from one another. He will surely die if I don't do anything about it. I can't undo it from within. But however, if the chakra was from another, the seal could possibly be fixed or at least undone. Kurama said. I can only give my chakra to Kushina, that is how the seal works. Or are you from a far future? Past Kurama wonders. Only by 12 years. I am Kushina's son host. Naruto Uzumaki. Kurama introduced his new host to his old self. How interesting. So I get seal inside Kushina's brat, how delightfully. Why should we help this brat anyway? If he dies you will be revived. Kurama of the past growls at his future self. Because he and I made a deal, I am a Biju of my word. I've been with him for 12 years. I know the boy inside and out. What he desire the most is Kushina and Minato. I will keep my word, our word. Naruto said he will free me, free us if I deliver my promise. Kurama of the past laughed at his future self. You've grown soft in those years. Did you forget Kushina was our second host? removing us from her will weaken her or surely kill her. The past fox again growl. But she is an Uzumaki. She will survive it though she will lose a large chunk of chakra. Kurama's red eyes flash red. Kurama of the past's eyes did the same thing. Fine. We'll see if this Naruto can keep his word. Kurama of the past said with a grin. While Kurama smirked at his past self. But I will give you both the needed chakra when the time is right. Both Nine Tails stared at one another before giving a nod. But be warned, the amount of chakra I will be large. Enough for me to fix what is broken. Kurama grinned. So tell me, what is this plan of yours, really? Past Kurama was curious as Kurama of the future just grinned. The very next day, Naruto was awake but only due to the fact he woke up coughing. The sound of the basement door open as Naruto could hear Minato's and Kushina's voice calling out to him. As they both asks Naruto if he was fine. I'm fine, just a little cough. He said. Naruto wiped his mouth with tissue paper. Naruto's eyes widen as the tissue paper had blood on it. Naruto bare his teeth and threw the tissue paper in the trash can nearby. Kid, your time is running short. You have to tell them before it's too late. You have to get the seal fix. Kurama's words were. I know, Kurama. Naruto felt suddenly out of breath. Suddenly Naruto start coughing again, but this time the cough hit harder. Naruto covered his mouth with his hands as he coughed again and again. But once it stops, Naruto withdraw his hands and saw a large amount of blood he coughed up. Damn, it's getting worst. Like I said, get your seal fix. Do it now, or our asses is done. Kurama shout at his host. But if it gets fixed, I'll be sent back. I don't want to go back. Kid, I got a plan. Remember what I said? Yeah, I do. Just get the seal fix. Suddenly Naruto heard the sound of a knock on the front door. Naruto heard Minato open the door. Naruto could hear 4 footsteps enter the household. Naruto kept quiet as he listens to whoever was inside the house. Naruto's eyes widened when he heard the voice of the third Hokage, but however he heard an elderly woman's voice also. Then a third voice Naruto heard soon after. Minato. Kushina, how's the baby? The sound of Jiraiya's voice was heard. Naruto placed his hands on the bed cover. Naruto gripped the covers tightly as he bare his teeth as an angry snarl he let out. Naruto's eyes red slowly faded from blue to light orange back to blue. But however Naruto's blue eyes stayed the same. While upstairs, Minato and Kushina were accompanied by Jiraiya, Minato's sensei and the godfather of their child, and also Hiruzen Sarutobi, the former third Hokage, and his wife Bawako Sarutobi. The baby is doing just fine. Kushina smiled at the 3-leaf ninjas. You hadn't done anything risky now, have you, Kushina? Bawako said while staring at the red-haired Uzumaki. Kushina sweat dropped as she shook her head. Oh, of course not, Bawako-sama. Kushina said with a big smile. So what brings you all here? Minato asked his sensei. Something very important came up and you should know, Minato. Hiruzen told the young Hokage. It's about Kumogakure. Bawako spoke, as Kushina frowned while everyone's faces were either saddened or had a serious look. Kushina remembered her past run with Kumogakure. They sneak into Konoha to steal Kushina and learn the secret of Kushina's special chakra and find a way to control the Kyuubi. They want peace between us. We just got a letter from the Raikage speaking of him sending his men to Konoha to form the peace path between Kumogakure and Konohagakure. They want all past battles and missions in the past. Jiraiya spoke. Minato was unsure how he felt about this. He knew Kushina was worried about this. We can't avoid this forever, and a sign of peace is something we all need, especially for the people of Konoha. Hiruzen said to Minato, while being a young Hokage. Minato could already feel the weight of this on his shoulders. Fine, we will accept their peace path. Minato said, though he wasn't all too happy to accept something like this at all. Kushina held Minato's hands as the young Hokage looked at his wife and smiled at her. The sound of someone coughing badly was heard from below. The cough caught Jiraiya and the Sarutobi couple attention. Minato, who's down there? Jiraiya asked. While I guess the cat is out of the bag, huh? Minato looked at Kushina, while the young couple chuckled together. Explain, you two. Hiruzen spoke. A while ago Minato found a young boy, and to make a long story short, me and Minato decide to adopt him as our son. He's a bit sick right now. His name is Naruto Uzumaki. We told Tsunade and the hospital staff to keep it a secret for a while until we thought it was right. Sorry we kept it from you. Kushina said while bowing her head. Kushina raised her head to see the Sarutobi couple and Jiraiya smiling at them. What? The couple said. Nothing. Just bit surprised, that is all. So you have adopted a child before yours can be born. Bawako said with a small smile. It would give them the experience they will need when the baby is born. And there's no harm of taking an orphan in as your own. Jiraiya said with a smirk. Again the sound of Naruto coughing was heard again. You said he's ill, why is here? Shouldn't be at the hospital. Jiraiya said, with little worry look. Naruto was in the hospital for a while. He got better, he's just need time to heal up. His coughing is getting bad but he'll pull through, I am sure of it. Minato told everyone. Kushina opened the basement door. Naruto-kun, are you okay? Do you need anything? Kushina asked from the stairs. There a long pause of silence that made everyone worry, but Naruto's voice was soon heard. I'm fine, just need some water. He said. Kushina to get the glass of water for Naruto, but Minato stopped Kushina before she took a first step downstairs. I'll take it to him. He told his wife. Kushina nodded. Mind if we see the kid? Jiraiya asked Minato. That's up to Naruto-kun if he wants some company. Kushina said. Naruto, do you mind if Kushina and I bring some friends down to see you? Minato asked his son. Naruto let out a saddened sigh. At first he knew who they were but not the elderly woman. Naruto knew everyone would see him. In time it would be best for him to get it over with and be done with it. Sure, he said weakly. Everyone went downstairs to greet the young Uzumaki. Jiraiya, Bawako and Hiruzen were surprised when they saw Naruto. Naruto's appearance was different than they thought. He had blonde spiky hair, blue strong eyes and whisker marks on his face. If they didn't know any better, Naruto looked just like Minato and Kushina. He had Minato's hair and slightly of other features, but he mostly looked just like Kushina but with blonde hair. He had Kushina's eyes in her face. But then again, Naruto was their adopted son. There was no way he was their real son. They would have known, and beside, Kushina's birth wasn't ready to be born just yet. Hi. Naruto said weakly. So you're Naruto, huh? Jiraiya said with a big smile. Both he and Minato cross over their arms over their chest. Bawako went up to Naruto and placed her right hand over Naruto's forehead. You're not burning up. Bawako then gently placed her left hand against Naruto's throat and gentle rubbed it. Nor do you have a sore throat. Hiruzen's wife said. Mom, what she's doing? Naruto said with a worry look. I'm just making sure. Bawako said. On what? Naruto's right eyebrow rose. You're doing fine, honey. Kushina said with a smile. Bawako stepped away from Naruto as Hiruzen and Jiraiya walked up towards the adopted son of the couple. While everyone had their eyes on Naruto, Bawako noticed the trash can nearby and peeked over and saw tissue paper. There was blood on it, lots of blood. There was more than one tissue paper that had blood on it. Bawako has never seen such a sign like this before. But she wasn't sure what she thinks this was. Bawako remained quiet for the moment. Hey, did you know I was gonna name Kushina's child after you? Jiraiya said. Naruto's eyes widened a little bit. Really? Jiraiya nodded. Yeah, but we can't have two Narutos now, can we? Jiraiya laughed. You are the godfather of our child, Jiraiya. And then since Naruto-kun is our adopted son, that makes you his godfather as well. Minato said, while everyone but Naruto laughed at the idea. Naruto felt a surge of anger building up inside of him. Everyone was laughing together. Unknowingly they were taunting him. When Jiraiya patted Naruto on his head, Naruto's eyes shot widen. Naruto grabbed Jiraiya's right arm and pulled it on his head. Don't touch me. Naruto shouted in anger. Whoa there, kid, relax will ya? Jiraiya said, with a surprised look on his face. Everyone saw how angry Naruto was. His blue eyes said it to them to all. Anger, betrayal, loneness and fear. Minato noticed Naruto's whisker marks look deeper. Naruto's seal gave off a deep red glow as Naruto unknowingly went trying to call upon Kurama's chakra only for nothing to happen and was given a bad effect. That being Naruto's stomach throbbed in pain. Naruto started coughing again. He spat out blood from his mouth. Naruto. Kushina and Minato yelled his name. Naruto held out his right hand stopping his parents. Naruto breathed deep and let out a sigh. I'm okay, just overdid it. I like to be alone right now. He said. Before Minato, Jiraiya or Hiruzen was about to speak. Bawako spoke first as she'd clap her hands. You heard him. Back upstairs everyone. Bawako pushed the men to the stairs and ordered them upstairs. Bawako looked to see Naruto was drinking a glass of water. He gave Kushina the glass as his mother was rubbing his back while asking him if he was truly fine. Naruto nodded his head and told his mother to leave him. He told the women he wanted to rest. Once everyone was upstairs, the basement door was closed, leaving Naruto alone to rest. That's a strange you two picked up. Jiraiya said with a frown. Sorry about that, Jiraiya. Naruto-kun. Minato rubbed the back of his head while chuckling nervously. He's a Jinchuriki. Bawako said. Everyone's eyes widened and turned to stare at Bawako. Naruto. He's a Jinchuriki, isn't he? Bawako asked the young couple. How did you know? Kushina said with a frown. It's not every day you see a boy who has whisker marks on his cheeks. I saw the red glow on his stomach. And that look in his eyes. That is the look of someone who was betrayed. Bawako said with an honest voice. We don't know which tails he is though. Minato said while looking at Kushina, who was frowning. He couldn't be holding the Kyuubi. Kushina has the Kyuubi. It must be one of the other tailed beasts. Jiraiya said with a little frown. While Minato and Kushina knew they were even more trouble now, hiding an adopted child is one thing, but hiding a Jinchuriki is another, especially with not knowing what tailed beast he has. Have you checked his seal? You could discover what he kind of tailed beast he has. But first tell us how you two met this kid, and tell us the truth. Jiraiya again spoke. Minato and Kushina nodded. For about an hour the couple told them how they met Naruto. Naruto disappears soon after and his reappearance months later. Discovering he's a Jinchuriki and he's chakra is seal up and also he's dying. We don't want to force Naruto. But we don't want him to die, not because he's a Jinchuriki but because he's our son. Tsunade told us we have 1 week to make the choice. If we don't do something within that time, it will be too late to save him. Minato finished explaining the past to Hiruzen, Bawako and Jiraiya. Tomorrow I'll have a look at his seal. First things first, we need to deal with the problem at hand. They're coming today, Jiraiya said as Minato and Hiruzen nodded. I'll stay here with Naruto-kun. Minato, you go on and do what you must. Don't worry about me, we'll be fine, Minato. Minato smiled and kissed Kushina. He trusted Kushina. I'll make this quick, I promise. Minato said. I know you will. Kushina grinned. 2 hours later. Kid, wake up. I smell trouble. Naruto opened his eyes. Naruto felt more tired than before. He wasn't sure why, but he felt weaker than usually. Naruto went upstairs. There he saw Kushina sitting on the couch reading a book. When Kushina saw Naruto coming upstairs, she rose up from the couch and went over to Naruto to help him. But Naruto told his mother he's fine. Okay, Fox, what do you mean you smell trouble? I don't see a thing. Naruto thought. Soon. Very soon. Keep your guard up. Kurama said. Naruto, will you allow me to do something for you? Kushina smiled at her son. Naruto walked over to the couch and sat down as Kushina sat down beside him. What is it you want me to allow? He wondered. I want to touch your seal, she said. Naruto suddenly looked surprised. Why? He asked while looking sad. Because I want to help. Minato wants to help. We want to help, Naruto. If don't want us to fix your seal, that fine. But you're not getting any way better, but let me at least try. I know a few things about sealing. Kushina winked. Really, I never knew that. Kushina nodded. I wasn't really good at ninjutsu when I was young, but I kept on trying and trying again and again. But my mother was there to give me a few lessons and she helped me. Now I want to help you, please, Naruto. Kushina's smile made Naruto feel at ease of this. He didn't want his seal fixed, but could he choose to stay here or go back to his world? I'll let you see my seal, just a little bit, okay? Kushina nodded. Naruto lay down on the couch as Kushina got down on her knees. Naruto's lift his shirt, showing his stomach to show his seal to his mother. This might hurt, Naruto. Be strong, okay? Naruto nodded. Kushina's hands suddenly glow bright blue with chakra. Kushina placed her right hand on top of Naruto's stomach, while her left hand was placed above his stomach. Kushina felt Naruto's chakra was sealed. There was still some chakra there but held up. Kushina felt his chakra. She felt the large amount that was held back. Naruto groaned in pain. Kushina being carefully while touching Naruto's seal. Kushina twisted her right hand to the right as Naruto felt the pain slightly going away as it was being replaced by the feel of release. Naruto started to feel coming flowing. Kushina saw color returning to Naruto's skin, his pale appearance was fading away. Naruto's soul. Kurama opened his eyes as he felt something happening outside beyond the seal. Kurama smiled as he knew what was going on. Getting your seal finally fix, huh? Alright then Naruto, time to honor up on our deal. Kurama thought. Outside of Naruto's soul, Kushina fixed only half of Naruto's seal, giving Naruto back 50% of his chakra and his link with Kurama back. Suddenly Kushina felt a surge of power between chakra returning back to Naruto. Images appeared in Kushina's head. The images she saw were a giant cage and a young Naruto standing in front of the cage, and behind the cage was Kurama, whom let out a furious roar. Kushina shook her head as she could understand. What does this mean? Kushina removed her hands to hold her head as she could hear Kurama within her letting out a furious roar of anger. Mom, are you alright? He asked her. Kurama within Kushina quickly silenced itself as Kushina nodded to her son. Kushina smiled at her son. Though she didn't fix his seal all the way, she did gave back some of his chakra that was held back. As the mother and son smiled at one another, Naruto was glad. He felt better now thanks to Kushina. She didn't fix him completely, but enough for his link with Kurama to reconnect, even if it was only 50%. Before Naruto could even say thank you, a loud explosion went off. The shockwave pushed Naruto away from Kushina as Kushina was knocked down. The couch fell on top on Naruto as well as some of the ceiling. Naruto was trapped and couldn't move at all. Naruto saw Kushina was on the floor. She was okay, she wasn't hurt or pinned down as he was. Kushina rose up from her feet to walk over to her adopted son, but however. Suddenly out from nowhere a group of 5 ninja men surrounds Kushina and held their kunais to her throat, her stomach and to the back of her head. And another ninja was on top of the couch as he grabs Naruto by the hair and held his kunai against Naruto's throat. Who the hell are you guys? Naruto asked. No, don't. Kushina said as her eyes widened in fear. You're coming with us, Kushina Uzumaki. Do what we say and the boy doesn't get hurt. The man above Naruto said. The man held his kunai close to Naruto's throat as it slowly draws blood against the boy's throat. I'll go with you, but please leave him alone. Kushina told the group of Kumogakure ninjas. One of the men hit Kushina at the back of her head as she fell, but only to be caught by one of them. Carrying Kushina over the right shoulder, the Kumogakure ninjas all nodded and took leave. No, 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 no. I can't let this happen. I have to save her. Naruto pulled himself out from the rumble. You do know they are much stronger than you. And they can surely kill you for sure, right? Kurama said. Don't care. Have to save mom. The only reason why I am here is because I want my family. Even if one of them is missing, then my whole trip here is worthless. Naruto said with an angry glare. Point taken, but know this, Kushina only fix half of our seal. You have chakra but not enough to use it for attacks. What about shadow clones? Right now if you summon a clone it would be disappear right off the spot. Our chakra need to be at 100% if you do any jutsu at all. But maybe I can give you something that can boost some effect. What kind of effect? Track down Kushina. Naruto felt a burst of energy suddenly. The energy was familiar, it was Kurama's but different somehow, it was raw and felt free, nothing controlling it or holding it back. Naruto looked at himself and saw himself cover in red chakra as his fingers' nails were long like claws, his teeth were fangs. Naruto looked to his right to see a mirror, his eyes were red. This temporary, so use it well. Now go kid, save your mother, not only her but yourself and me. Naruto dashed out of the ruined house of the Uzumaki family. And just as Naruto left the area, many residents and ninjas ran towards the area. Konoha Forest. The Kumogakure ninjas were rushing through the forest of Konoha, using their super speed jutsu to hasten their escape from the land of fire, while Kushina remained out cold. That was easy than we thought. We didn't fail this time. We have the Kyuubi of Konoha and the wife of the 4th Hokage. This day can't get any better than this. One of the Kumogakure ninjas laughed. Think again. A voice shouted. When one of the Kumogakure looked behind to see who was there. A fist awaits their face. Naruto punched the Kumogakure ninja who was holding Kushina. Kushina was dropped but landed safety. Naruto stood in front of his mother protecting her from the enemy ninjas. The red chakra vanished, leaving Naruto to his normal state. Naruto withdrew a kunai and glare at the 6 ninjas who were glaring at him. You got some balls, kid. Do you think who you're messing with? One of the ninjas asked Naruto. I don't give a damn. I don't care who you are. You're not taking her. I'll protect her with my life from creeps like you. Naruto's eyes burns with force. He didn't care how strong or who they were. Naruto wasn't going to let anyone or anything stand in his way. He was going to have his family, and there was nothing he was going to let stop him from having that. When one of the 6 men came at Naruto, Naruto dodged the man's attack and struck him in the stomach with a kunai. The man wore a thicker Junin jacket protecting him from sudden death by kunai. He grabs Naruto by the hair and punched the boy in the face. Naruto took out his kunai out from the man's jacket and aimed for somewhere without protection, which was the face. Gah! You little shit! The man screamed as he kicked Naruto away from him. Naruto had stabbed the man in the right eye. The man ripped the kunai out from his right eye. The man went over to Naruto and kicked Naruto in the stomach repeatedly again and again. Though he had some of his chakra back, Naruto still wasn't fully healed from his illness. Naruto coughed up blood from each hard kick to the stomach and chest. But Naruto toughed up taking each hard blow, while trying to take these guys on to save his mother. Kushina woke up to see Naruto being kicked. Stop it. Leave him alone, she yelled. Is that all you got? Naruto chuckled as he spat blood on the man's feet. No, Naruto, please don't say any more. You're still sick. Please stop, he's my son. Kushina yelled. You should teach your boy some manners. The man kicked Naruto one last time. Is that all? I have worst beatings kids my age. Your kicks are nothing but love taps, you piece of shit. Naruto coughed more blood but smiled at his enemy, then he gave them a shit-eating grin. The type of grin your enemy would not only beat the shit out of you but kill you. Keep talking, we'll kill you, brat. The leader of the group said. So what, you think I'm afraid of you? Just because you're from another village, just because you're better than me as a ninja, or just because I'm still a kid? As I said before, I don't care who you are. You're taking her. You'll have to take her over my dead body. The leader of the group grabbed Naruto by the throat as their eyes met one another. The man saw no fear in Naruto's eyes, only courage within them. What make you think you can win? Do you think you can take on all of us? The man asked Naruto. Because I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the son of Kushina Uzumaki and Minato Namikaze. Do you think I fear someone as you? Hokage runs in my blood, so you. Naruto's words anger the man as Naruto's eyes widen, as so did Kushina's. Kushina covered her mouth for what she saw. The man had launched his right hand bust through Naruto's chest. The man let go of the young boy as he fell to the floor. Naruto. Kushina screamed his name. Kushina ran towards him but overwhelmed by the leader's men who held her down. Naruto groaned in pain as he struggled to move. Come on, let's go, we're moving out now. The leader said. As the man turned around, he felt something grabbing his right leg. He looked back to see it was Naruto. Naruto was still alive but barely. Let her go or else. Naruto said. Or else what? You're dying, kid, what else can you do? The leader smirked. I'll kill you all. Naruto threatened the man with a glare. But the man found it laughable, a dying kid making death threats. What's that? I didn't hear you, kid. The man said with a bastard smile. I'll kill you all. I may not have pro skills as my father or any of Konoha's Junins. I don't know who you are. I don't know what you want from her. If you're looking for ransom, I can tell you I don't have anything worthwhile. But I do have power. Power I have acquired over a very long time. Power that make me a nightmare for people like you. If you let my mother go, it will be the end of it. I will not look for you. I will not pursue you. But if you don't, I will look for you. I will find you, and I will kill you. The last part of Naruto's threat speech sounds serious, as if he would make that promise come true. But the man kicked Naruto in the face as the young boy was rolled on the floor. The Cloud Ninja perform a hand sign as the ground open up and consume Naruto. I have made you a grave. Rest in peace, you little shit. The leader spit on the ground where Naruto. Naruto. No, let me go, you bastard. Naruto. Kushina struggled to free herself from her captors. But fail as they took her and left Naruto for dead. Underground, the earth 6 feet under. Naruto bleeding to death and gasping for air. Naruto knew his end was nearing, but he wasn't going to let it end this way. His mind screams, to hell with that. Naruto was trying to dig his way out from his grave. His mind fixed on saving his mother and his past self and Kurama, but most of all saving Kushina. He knew his father and everyone was looking for them but not sure where they were. Naruto had to do something. He had to be the bigger man here. He was their son. He wasn't going to die like this, especially after what they did for him. He owed to them that very much, because without them he would never be born, or he be alive, and for that matter be a Jinchuriki. But he didn't care about the sins his parents made in his timeline. He can change they here. But none of that would matter if he died here and let Kushina be kidnapped. Feeling his breath shorten by the second and his eyes slowly closing down on him. Death was close. But he refuses to give in. I can't die. No, 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 I can't die. I won't be killed off here. I won't be buried like some nobody. I refuse to let that happen. I refuse to die. I want to live. I have to live. I must live. I will live. Would you sacrifice everything to save this woman? To have your family, the family that was taken from you? I would do it even with the price of my own life. I will do it. I have nothing else to lose. Without my family I am nothing. They need me and I need them. They gave their lives just for me. I would do the same for them. I cannot die. I am Naruto Uzumaki. I am your host Kurama. As you once told me before, if I die so does you, and you both know we don't want that, now do we? Kept half of your promise. The seal is only half fixed but enough for me to do something about it. All I have to say is this, kid, don't hate me for what I'm about to do. Before Naruto was about to speak, voices were heard from within his mind. Go away. No one likes you. Hey, isn't he? You know. You don't belong here. Go away. Don't play with him, you hear me? You shouldn't listen to that boy. He's a troublemaker. Naruto, don't you have anything else to do beside become a screw up? You're a loser, you will always be a loser. I care who you are. What a matter, what's wrong, scary cat? Go away Naruto, you're annoying. Sorry, but I was talking about Sasuke, not you Naruto. You're weak Naruto, there's no way you will ever become a great ninja. Whatever you say, do you want to know why everyone hate you? Why you have no one wants to love? Because you are the nine-tailed fox who attacked the village 12 years ago. Iruka lost his parents to that fox. I bet he even secretly hates you within. Everyone does. You want to become a great shinobi, then grow up. Foolish won't grow if you stay a fool. Memories of his timeline came rushing into his mind. Memories of loneliness, pain and fear all came at him like a rushed blow to the mind. All of these dark emotions overcame Naruto. Naruto felt something happening to himself. Naruto looked at his right hand and saw it was slowly fading away. He was returning to the other world. He was returning to his original timeline. He couldn't have the chakra he needed to go back. No, he wasn't going to let it end this way. I will live. I will not die. Naruto's shouting words were above on ground. The ground quake as a powerful force from underneath rumble within the earth. Elsewhere. Kushina's location. Almost nearing near the end of the Konoha large hidden forest. Kushina remained silent through the journey. She couldn't believe it. Her adopted son, her Naruto, was killed right in front of her eyes. Everything she wished for with Naruto all rotted away in seconds. Her heart was broken. She lost the boy who would call her mother. But suddenly the loud noise was heard nearby as the ground quaked with force. Kushina fell to her knees while everyone else fell to their butts. A hand, no, a claw burst out from the ground and grab and crush one of the 6 Kumogakure men. Rising out from the ground was a person, no, a being covered in red color chakra. It had 2 long ears with its eyes white as bone. Its 5 tails swings back and forth. Its growls were loud and scary. On its back was a spinal cord bone. Blind animal. Naruto Shippuden Movie 3 Ost. The Kumogakure backed away from the being. Kushina was terrific. She didn't know who or what this thing was, only it was a Jinchuriki. The possessed Jinchuriki looked over its right shoulder and saw Kushina there on her knees, shaken with sorrow and fear. The being looked away and glared the remaining cloud ninjas. Naruto, is that you? Kushina asked the 5-tailed being. The possessed Jinchuriki let out a powerful roar, cried. The possessed Jinchuriki reached out its right hand and grabbed the leader of the group. The leader stared into the eyes of the possessed Jinchuriki. The man gasped with widened eyes when he heard a voice spoke within his head. I told you, I would find you. Shit. It's the kid. The leader yelled before Naruto torn him in half with his claws. The numbers were cut down to 4 now. The 4 remaining cloud ninjas stand their grounds and took out their kunais while some perform hand signs. Naruto growl at them, as Kushina feel the bloodlust coming from him. Slaughter is about to begin. 20 minutes later, Minato arrive on the scene, as the battleground was nothing but rumble and ruins. Konoha Forest was nearly blown in half by an unknown force. Minato looked around and saw Kushina on the ground as her clothes were somewhat ripped but she had cut marks on her face and arms. Kushina! Minato yelled. He went over to his wife to check on her. Minato! Kushina came to when she opened her eyes. Kushina, what happened? He asked his red-headed lover. It was horrible. They bury Naruto alive underneath the earth. They took me away, but before that, I heard him. I hear Naruto's cries. Minato. Naruto is very upset, very upset. Kushina told her husband. How upset? Where is he? Minato asked while looking around. He's using his Biju power. He reached the 5th form of his state. And Minato. Naruto, he looked like the Kyuubi. Kushina said with a frown. What? How is that even possible? Minato said with a shock look on his face. I don't know, but he's fighting those men from the hidden cloud village. They're trying to capture Naruto-kun. Please Minato, you have to stop them. You have to stop Naruto. Kushina frowned. I can't leave you and the baby alone. Minato frowned. He was worried for both the sake of his wife and his children. I'm fine, Minato. Go get our son. Help Naruto. Save our boy. Kushina said with a smile. Suddenly a loud explosion went off as a powerful roar was heard. The roar was so loud it shattered as thunder as the ground quake. Minato and Kushina's eyes widened for what they saw overshadow them in its shadow. 7th-tailed Naruto Kurama. 7th-tailed Kurama Naruto stood there in front of his parents. Both Minato and Kushina completely shocked upon the form Naruto has taken. Kushina in the past went through under such a transformation but never as such the level Naruto went through. Naruto's body was covered in blackish red chakra, with bones that taken on the form of a fox all over his body. Naruto wore the fox skulls as if it was helmet protecting him. Its long 7 tails swing up and down each time destroying a piece of the ground. He was only 2 tails away from being complete. Naruto's height has doubled since then, standing about 20 feet tall. Naruto looked down at his parents as Minato stood in front of Kushina protecting his wife. Minato could see it in Naruto's the body has been through a lot. He did all of this so Kushina wouldn't be kidnapped. He thanked Naruto for that, but right now they needed Naruto to return back to normal. Suddenly a look of anger came across Naruto's face. He grabbed both Minato and Kushina with his right hand. Minato and Kushina both struggled and screamed as they could feel the acid touch of Naruto's red chakra skin. Now do it, now it is the time. Kurama's voice was heard. Fine, but I am only doing this once, the rest is up to them. Past Kurama said. Both Minato and Kushina heard voices speak. Suddenly Kushina's chakra chains burst from her back and swing around Naruto's body as one of the chains impale Naruto in the stomach where his seal was as Naruto spat out from his mouth. Kushina, what are you doing? Minato yelled. It's not me. I can't control my body, there's something controlling me. As the rest of Kushina's chains wrapped around Naruto's body, but before the last chain picked its targets. The last chakra chain impacted both Minato and Kushina in the chest. Minato felt Kushina's chakra chain within his chest as it was very close to his heart, as the same goes for Kushina. Suddenly Minato blacked out. Kushina felt suddenly sleepy for unknown reason. She felt an overwhelming aura overcame her. Unknown. Kushina. Kushina. Kushina, wake up. Minato's voice was heard. Kushina opened her eyes to see her husband looking over her. Kushina slowly rise up from the floor. Kushina felt the floor was wet. Kushina looked down to see there was water on the floor. Where are we? She asked her husband while looking around. I don't know. This place is dark and cold. Minato looked around their unknown location. And wet. Kushina added. Where's Naruto? She asked. I don't know. He told her with a frown. There were metal walls to their left and right. The floor was flooded with 4 inches of water. The couple held each other hands as they walked together. Unknowingly what awaits them at the end of the dark hallway. For what seemed like hours the two came across 2 paths way. One to their left and another to their right. Which way? Minato sighed. Kushina and Minato heard laughter to their right. The two what appears to be a young boy wearing a white t-shirt with black shorts with no shoes. He had blonde, spiky, and blue eyes with 3 whiskers marks on each cheek. The young boy grinned and chuckled as he turned away and ran. Naruto. The couple said together. Minato grabbed Kushina and carried her in his arms as Minato ran to the right chasing after the young Naruto. While being carried by her husband, Kushina felt her seal aching as it was throbbing. Kushina felt a very familiar chakra close by. The couple entered what appears to be a large room. Once they enter the room, a wall suddenly rose up sealing them within the large room. Within the large room the couple saw a giant cage as behind the cage was nothing but darkness. There was a small paper with the word seal on it which kept the cage closed. In front of the cage, floating in mid-air was their adopted son, Naruto Uzumaki. Naruto had his eyes closed as if he was dead. Naruto's seal was gone, only a black hole remains where the seal was as black liquid came out from it. The black liquid touched the ground as Minato and Kushina could hear the sound of people's cries and suffering. As the two took a step forward, a flash image appeared within their minds. The flash image was a child Naruto crying as a large group of unknown people stood in front of Naruto about 5 feet away. Kushina and Minato could hear what they say to him. Go away. Yeah, freak. No one likes you. Just leave. Get out of here. You're not even worth it. Orphan. Orphan, orphan, orphan. Naruto's an orphan. Your parents didn't love you, that's why they left you. No matter what you do, you'll be alone forever and ever. You are the monster parents tell their children about. That's why you're a freak and you'll forever be alone. No one wants to be your friend. Everyone either hates you or pity a weak, pathetic thing as such you. You're not even a human, no, you're even a person. You're just a thing. You're such a loser, Naruto. Naruto, you idiot, do you even think for once? Kushina and Minato were torn up for what they. Was this everything Naruto been through his past, the reason why he ran away from home and came to Konoha, the reason why he came to them? It's much worse than I thought. Minato said as his fists tightened up in anger. Naruto-kun. Poor Naruto-kun, if only we knew sooner. Kushina fell to her knees as tears came down her face. Kushina, we may not heal the past wounds of Naruto's. But there is one thing we can do. We can make sure Naruto will never go through that ever again. Minato helped his wife up as Kushina nodded. The couple went up to giant cage where Naruto was. When the two got close to Naruto, their eyes widened in shock for what they saw within the cage. No way, Minato said. How is that event possible? Kushina also said. Kurama, the 9-tailed fox, was inside the cage. He was Naruto's Biju. He was the reason why Naruto was a Jinchuriki, but how it was possible? There can't be 2 Kuramas, there was no way. 4th Hokage. Kurama growls in anger. He looks different. Kushina noticed. How so? Minato asked his wife. He just does. I don't know, but he looks and feels different. Kushina said with a frown. We can explain that. Minato heard his own voice spoke behind them. The couple turned around and gasped, for they saw. Standing behind them was themselves. You're me. Minato looked shocked. That I am. The other Minato said. Kushina looked at the other Kushina as she was speechless, as the other Kushina just smiled. This should be interesting to watch. Kurama grew a smile. What the hell is going on here? Why is there 2 of us? And why is the Kyuubi seal inside Naruto? Kushina yelled at her other self. Because we are Naruto's actually parents and I seal the Kyuubi inside of him. The other Minato said. What? The couple yelled at their other selves. Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki, both were inside of Naruto's seal, in the deepest part of his soul where the Kyuubi lies. Seeing their adopted son floating while unconscious while discovering Naruto has in fact the Kyuubi brought whole new questions to their mind, and also a new event came. Minato and Kushina seen themselves within Naruto's seal. The question brings, how is it possible? You're me. Minato looked shocked. That I am. The other Minato said. Kushina looked at the other Kushina as she was speechless, as the other Kushina just smiled. This should be interesting to watch. Kurama grew a smile. What the hell is going on here? Why is there 2 of us? And why is the Kyuubi seal inside Naruto? Kushina yelled at her other self. Because we are Naruto's actually parents and I seal the Kyuubi inside of him. The other Minato said. What? The couple yelled at their other selves. What's going on here? Why is there 2 of us and what do you mean you seal the Kyuubi inside Naruto? Minato asked his other self. Even I do not know how this came to be. The other Minato said. Kurama chuckled. His chuckle was heard by all. I can explain what has happened, for a price. Kurama growled. Sorry, freedom isn't on the price list. Minato told Kurama. But Kurama laughed anyway, which made everyone raise an eyebrow. I will be free, but in time. I will be free, I have foreseen it. But the price I ask is for Naruto's sake. I have been seal within his seal for 12 years. 12 long years, the boy has sacrificed himself not once, not twice but 3 times to ensure of this. Kurama said. What do you mean he sacrificed himself 3 times? Minato of the past asked. Naruto has traveled through time to make the impossible possible. Kurama said. What does he mean? Kushina asked. He means Naruto went back in time to stop him from his losing family. The other Kushina said with a frown, as both Kushinas look at the floating Naruto. You mean, we? Minato said with a frown, as other Minato nodded. Yes, the parents of Naruto Uzumaki. Which is you, are dead in his timeline. There Naruto was raised barely and Naruto raised himself, teaching himself from right to wrong and many other things. Kurama spoke. What do you mean? Naruto should have been raised by the village. It was in my will if anything happens to me and Kushina. Sarutobi and the village would help raise Naruto. Other Minato said. Do you really think your village would listen to you? Or did you think the elders would allow such a dead man's wish come true? Kurama laughed at both Minatos. How did we die? Minato asked both his other self and Kurama. We die giving our lives for the village and for Naruto. Kyuubi was going to murder Naruto. Both Kushina and I got in the way and was impaled by one of his claws. I made Naruto a Jinchuriki before we die. I made our son a Jinchuriki so the village could be saved. The other Minato explained to his past self and other Kushina. So you made Naruto a Jinchuriki to save the village. But why are the two of you here? Kushina asked while both she and Minato were confused seeing their counterparts here within Naruto's seal. While Kushina was giving birth, a masked man attacked us. He stole the Kyuubi and ripped it out from Kushina's seal. Kushina survived having the Kyuubi taken out of her but she was left greatly weakened. Other Minato said. I used my chakra to help Minato take him down. I was nearing my end. I was plan on dying with the Kyuubi if that took to save Naruto. Other Kushina looked at Naruto with a frown. As her heart ached in pain seeing what her son's future has become. I couldn't handle the thought of living a life without Kushina. So I plan on using her chakra so she could see Naruto again. Without her I couldn't become Hokage or the great man everyone saw me as. She made me what I became in Naruto's timeline, a hero. Other Minato sigh with a small smile. Minato of Naruto's timeline saw his past self walking towards him. I understand. Kushina is everything to me. I would be torn apart if anything would ever happen to her. Minato smiled at his Kushinas. But Minato's eyes looked over to Naruto. Minato's smile soon vanished that moment. But, Minato started. Bam! Other Minato was knocked to the ground. Minato. Both Kushinas yell as other Kushina went over to her husband's side. That doesn't give you the right to give up, especially on being a father, though it would pains me to live without Kushina in my life. In your timeline I became a father, Naruto's father. Now I understand why he couldn't look me in the eye or why he was afraid to tell us. Though we did what we thought was the greater good for the village. You abandon your child, your son. Minato yelled at his counterpart and his wife. I am you, wouldn't you do the same? Other Minato spoke as he stared. Minato glared at his counterpart. Minato tightened his fists as he was ready to the other Minato another punch. But Kushina touched Minato's right shoulder as he looked at his wife. Kushina shook her head. Minato sighed with his eyes closed. Minato opened his eyes and turned his sights on Naruto. What has happened is in your past, but it is our future. Naruto was abandoned. No amount of betrayal would equal to the thought of being abandoned. We saw a piece of what Naruto went through. You have no idea what hell you brought on your son, our son. Minato never felt so angry at himself. But that doesn't mean we didn't care or loved him. Naruto was our son, we gave our lives to save him. Though the pain Naruto been through, my words cannot heal his wounds. But I did this so Naruto could see Kushina, his mother. I could never give Naruto the love she could. She loved him more than I could ever love him, and I am his father. I would gladly give my life for him, that is a father's duty. My plan backfired, no one listened to me. I wonder did Jiraiya do anything about it? He's the boy's godfather after all. Other Minato said. That idiot pervert. Much like everyone else, he didn't lift a finger to help raise the kid. He didn't even bother to show up. He did show up. Only 12 years later. He became the boy's sensei for a time. No one adopted him. No loved him. No one gave him the respect he wanted. Only a few knew who he was. And whose child he was. But none darned to give a damn. Do you what that does to a person's mind, to a child? Especially one who's a Jinchuriki. Kurama spoke to the parents of Naruto Uzumaki of both timelines. The room was filled with silence for about 5 minutes. I didn't think so. Though he was my host, and I didn't care. I kept your boy alive, buying my time. Kurama said. For what? Kushina asked. For his death, but he surprised me. The other past Jinchuriki of the other tailed beast either betrayed their villages or found peace in suicide. Though my hosts have never done such a thing, Naruto was so very close one time. But every day he put a mask eating up whatever bullshit they gave him. Bit by bit anger became hatred and hatred become darkness and that darkness formed Naruto's dark personally. The real Naruto Uzumaki, deep down inside he hates everyone within the village. He hates every single one of them. He even has a bit of hatred even for you too. Kurama smiled. You lie. Both Kushinas shouted. Says the woman who birthed him only agreed to her husband's plan. That plan was a failure. Your son is not a hero to Konoha. He's a Jinchuriki, a demon, a freak, a monster. A tool in waiting of being used until his time is up. By using my power, Naruto shortened his long lifespan. Because of you Minato your son will die. Kurama glared at the two Minatos but mainly the one who sealed him away. But that can't be. We can fix Naruto's seal, we can still live him. Kushina said. Not likely. Naruto traveled back in time 3 times. The 3rd time screw up our chakra line. Giving him chakra cancer. Naruto was a dead boy the moment he came to the past. But you Kushina were able to fix the seal. But Naruto used my power to save you. He reached 7 tails of my power. The seal is shattered now. The chakra cancer still inside of him, if he turns back, he will die. Using the time traveling jutsu need chakra to work. What many doesn't know is, the chakra that was used wasn't just chakra. It's the chakra of your lifespan. Naruto used it 3 times now, plus using my power short half of his. Kurama explained to both Minatos and Kushinas. No, there's something we can do. There's must be something we can do. Minato bare his teeth. There is. But there is a price. Kurama said. What? Both Minatos and Kushinas yell. Sacrifice. A large amount of chakra must be given up to equal up to the amount Naruto has lost. I would give Naruto some of mine's, but however I am locked away. But I see the answer to your problem lies within you Kushina. Kurama stared at his former host. Kushina looked at herself and looked down at her pregnant stomach. No, not that type of sacrifice. I still need Naruto. The time seal jutsu will dispel soon. If that happen Naruto will be sent back to his time only to die. Leaving you two trapped inside a dead boy's seal. There is a way for Naruto to stay in the past without sacrificing himself anymore. Kurama explained. He wants us to sacrifice him, the other Kyuubi. Other Kushina said as Kurama nodded. But won't that mean you are sacrificed too? Minato asked. Yes and no. Kushina will sacrifice the other me for Naruto's life. In that way I will remain here in Naruto's seal. His chakra will replace the chakra Naruto have lost. I will be the Kyuubi of this timeline, because Naruto will have the lifespan of my past self. He will live as Naruto's new chakra and I will be able to continue my life. Kurama's eyes stared down at them. Both Minato's and Kushina's looked into Kurama's and saw his red eyes weren't angry as they were before. All of this to save Naruto. Kushina frowned, but Minato grabbed Kushina's right hand and held it tight. I will have my freedom. But I will have Naruto what he desire. Naruto and I made a deal. A deal that will be done very soon. You cannot stop the fate of Naruto. He will be a Jinchuriki, and there must be a 9 tails. Without that need, time will go off. Minato, Kushina, you can make a change that will make Naruto's life better. For the one you see before you and the Uzumaki you carried within you Kushina. What of the other you? Surely he wouldn't agree to something like this. Both Minatos said. We talked of this long ago. This must happen. I cannot allow Naruto to die. Why? You would have your freedom. You always hated us. Other Minato said. Because of him, Naruto. I've watched him grow for 12 years. I have my reason wanting him alive, reasons for neither of you to know. As I said, I will be free one day. Naruto will hold the end of his deal and so will I. Are you ready, Kushina? You will be greatly weakened but you will live and so will Naruto. Kurama looked at Naruto. How do we do this? Kushina asked. You must open your seal. I have already linked Naruto's seal with yours. But you must open yours for it to begin. This will need the help of two. Kurama looked at the other Minato and Kushina as they nodded. The parents of Naruto Uzumaki nod their heads together. They were doing this to save Naruto to undo the sin they would have done. It was time to make things right. Outside of Naruto's seal, seventh-tailed Kurama Naruto stood there frozen in place as he held Minato and Kushina in his right hand. With Kushina's chakra chains still impaled in him and in them, Naruto fell to his knees so suddenly and rested his right hand down, letting his parents go safely. Kushina's chakra chains vanished from theirs and Naruto's body. Suddenly a bright light shined from Naruto's stomach. Pair of white chakra chains came out from him and wrapped around him completely, only leaving his head exposé. The chains gripped Naruto's body tightly as Naruto let out a powerful roar. Dark red smoke was spray out from the chains. Naruto's height size lowers down. Naruto shrunk down to his originally height level. He lost his 7 tails but still had 4 left. The red chakra that shielded him from disappears, leaving a red face Naruto. The chains finally let go of its grip on him. Naruto was down on his knees. His skin all over was red. He was completely burned by his own blood. Naruto was shirtless but still had his pants on. Naruto's seal on his stomach was completely different now, a brand new seal, while the seal on Kushina's stomach was gone. Kushina and Minato woke up after they heard Naruto groan in pain. Naruto, Minato said as the two saw Naruto was down on his knees. He was just about ready to crash down. Minato ran over to Naruto to catch him before he hit the ground. I hoped it worked, Minato said as Kushina nodded. I know it worked. I know it did, Naruto. You will never suffer ever again. We promise, Kushina said to her son. Minato carried Naruto in his arms and left the battleground with his wife. They now know the truth about Naruto. But however, they don't know the whole story, that story they hoped Naruto would tell them. As the Uzumaki family left the battleground, the remaining ninjas of the hidden cloud village that survived the battle against Naruto hide themselves on the other side of the forest. Now, we can take them. The kid is out and we can take them. Naruto had killed all but 2 remaining cloud ninjas. They escape and hide themselves, hoping Naruto would return to normal. But that task is not yours to fulfill. A voice spoke behind them. Before the cloud ninjas even had a chance to respond who was there, they were quickly disposed of by a shadowy figure. The dark figure watched the Uzumaki family from afar as Konoha ninjas arrive on scene. So Kushina Uzumaki is no longer the Jinchuriki of the 9 tails. That boy now holds it. This will set my plans back just a bit. Enjoy your happiest for now, Minato. The shadowy figure vanished into nothingness. 3 days later, Naruto woke up in the hospital of Konoha. When he opened his eyes, the first thing he saw was his parents looking down at him. They were both smiling at him. Kushina's eyes was watery, she was ready to cry. Kushina hugged her son and cried anyway while Minato sweat dropped but smiled anyway. Naruto wasn't sure what was going on. The last thing he remembers was being buried underground. His body hurts and his memories were like a shattered puzzle. What happened? He asked them. A lot, Minato said. I don't remember. Mom, you're safe. Kushina nodded. All thanks to you. Minato grinned. Naruto, we know the truth. We know who you really are. Minato said. Naruto gasped for a moment. He lowered his head down with a frown. Don't be ashamed. Naruto, we know why. And we understand what happened caused you so much pain. We love you, Naruto, that will never change. And so did the parents of your time. Kushina told her son, as she and Minato hugged him. But, how did you know all of this? Naruto looked so confused as his parents let go of him. Because the 9 tails told us everything, and because of him, we save you, we fix your seal, it's good as new. And you don't have to worry about going back. We fix that problem too. Minato told his son. I'm still kind of confused here. He rubbed the back of his head. We'll tell you later, but right now. Just rest up, okay, kid? Minato smiled as he rubbed Naruto's head. Kushina kissed Naruto on the right cheek as his parents left the room, giving him time alone to let him take of this in. Kid, what they say is true. Kurama's voice was heard. Can you explain everything? I will, but listen, I am going to say this once. It's a real long one. Hokage's tower. Meeting room. Minato, we have call of this meet. We would like to know what happened 4 days ago. And we want the truth. Danzo said, as Danzo was accompanied by the 2 elders of Konoha, Homura and Kaharu. Hiruzen and Bawako were also there. Well, it's not going to be easy. I need your help on this one, Hiruzen-san, Bawako-sama. The Sarutobi couple nodded. Kushina and I adopted a young boy a few days ago. We first met him few months back. He's an orphan from another village. Which one I do not know, but he's a Jinchuriki. Well, we thought he was one. Minato said as both he and Kushina made up a good and believable cover story. What do you mean you thought he was? Homura asked Minato. Well, he has the chakra of a Biju. It must have happened a while back during Mito-sama's time. The Kyuubi was on a rampage after Madara was defeated, right? A lot of chakra the beast must have leaked out. I believe someone must have gathered that leaking chakra and tried to make their own Jinchuriki from just its chakra. That's what our adopted son, Naruto, is. Minato explained to everyone. The story was very believable, so believable even Hiruzen and Bawako believed it. When the ninjas from the hidden cloud came for that peach path. It was a lie just to enter our village to kidnap Kushina, like they did years ago. Naruto tried his best to save Kushina, but was struck down and was buried alive. I believe he hit his breaking point and transformed into what I believe was seventh-tailed form. He looked just like the Kyuubi in that transformation state. I arrived to find the cloud ninja dead and Kushina was wounded, but not enough not to hurt the baby. Minato held Kushina's right hand as she sat beside him. Go on. Danzo said. I wasn't sure what happened, but Kushina and I was grabbed by him and we ended up inside Naruto's seal. My theory was right, he did have the Kyuubi's chakra. From his chakra he had a direct link to the Kyuubi from Kushina's seal. So you're telling us, the boy was a fake Jinchuriki? Homura asked as both Kushina and Minato nodded. Interesting. Danzo rubbed his chin. Naruto was also dying. During his life in whatever village he was from. He used the power of the Kyuubi numerous of time. Each time shortened his lifespan, in order to save his life. We made him a Jinchuriki. Minato said. Each of the elder was shocked to hear of this. What? How dare you do something like this without us knowing? Danzo yelled. Easy. Calm yourself. Naruto is an Uzumaki. His parents must have been one of my clan members. He was able to handle it. I gave the Kyuubi to him in order to save his life. We did this to save our adopted son's life. Naruto's young, we believe he can do it. I was 10 when I became a Jinchuriki. Kushina spoke for her husband's behalf. What of the cancer the boy has? Bawako asked. Cancer. Danzo yelled. Danzo, will you shut your mouth and listen for once? Kaharu said. Danzo glared at the young couple for a moment before nodding. Naruto escaped his village and came here to Konoha. But before that his chakra was sealed. Months of having his chakra seal he grown sick and became very ill. Tsunade told us he had chakra cancer and didn't have long to live. But however, giving Naruto the Kyuubi and fixing his seal has cured him. He's only 12 years old but has suffered a lot of abuse. I can read it all over him. Kushina sighed with a large frown. Old scars cannot be healed completely, but he will find a better life. He will stay and remain as your adopted son, but it's up to you two, Kushina and Minato. To make sure the boy doesn't have to use the power you have given him for wrong use. You were once its host, Kushina. You will be his Jinchuriki trainer. Give him time to heal. Once that is done, have him join in the academy. I believe he and Asuma and Itachi will be good friends for the boy. Bawako said. Hiruzen agreed with his wife. Thank you, Bawako-sama. Kushina smiled. This ends today meeting. Hiruzen said. Not so fast, Hiruzen. Danzo spoke. What is it, Danzo? Hiruzen sighed. It's about our friends from the hidden cloud. We just have gotten a letter from the wreckage. Danzo told everyone. What does he want? Minato said with a frown. They completely decline anything their men have done with the kidnapping of Kushina Uzumaki. and demand the life of the one whom killed their men who came to form the peace path. Danzo's news not only upset the elders within the room but the Uzumaki family as well. What? That's, Minato bare his teeth. That's bullshit. Kushina yell. They tried to kidnap me. Naruto nearly died to save me. And now they acted if they didn't have anything to do with what happened 4 days ago. Kushina's anger was peaking. Kushina, calm down. It's not good for the baby. Deep breaths now, remember. Bawako tried to calm down the young mother. They say if we do not hand over the one who took their lives, they will claim war against Konoha. Danzo said. We already had problems enough as it is. Minato sighed while shaking his head. They do not know who the ones who killed their men were. They only know it was someone from Konoha. They have given us a month to decide the choice. Danzo inform everyone. A month, huh? Minato closed his eyes thinking on the subject. We cannot give them Naruto. Bawako said. The kid had it real rough. He was close to death and just giving his life for saving Kushina. Homura spoke. For now we will deal with this later. For now as this meeting is over. Kushina, Minato, go see how's Naruto is doing. We will see you both later. Hiruzen told the young couple. Kushina and Minato left the meeting room first before the others did. If the boy wasn't a full Jinchuriki, handing him over wouldn't be a problem. Danzo said. How cold-hearted you must be to save this village, you fool. Bawako asked Danzo. I will keep this village safe by any cost. You know that, Bawako, and so does you, Hiruzen. Danzo glared. Yes, that is why you weren't chosen to be Hokage. We will find a way without having Kushina, Minato or Naruto in harm's way. Minato is the youngest ever to be Hokage. He is young, there is still much he needs to learn of how a Hokage deal with matters such as this. But for now we will deal with this without having them knowing. Homura said. You think that be wise? Don't think Minato doesn't have others listening in on all for him to know. He's young but he's not stupid. Bawako said while staring at Homura. Many so would think that. Danzo said. Kushina's parents died when she was young. Being her godmother, I know Minato won't be used as a tool. Bawako and Hiruzen after Bawako was finished talking. She's right, you know. Kaharu said to her elder allies. But for how long? Homura said with a frown. Elsewhere in an unknown location. Kushina Uzumaki is no longer the Jinchuriki of the Nine Tails. The shadowy figure spoke to a group of people in the dark. Is this a setback to your plans? A woman's voice spoke in the dark. Only a little bit. I will set you two to get the job done. The shadowy figure said. Who is our target? A man's voice spoke in the dark. The A.Ped son of Minato Namikaze and Kushina Uzumaki. Your target is the Nine Tails Jinchuriki, Naruto Uzumaki. Minato Namikaze. He became the 4th Hokage not too long ago, didn't he? The woman in the dark said. He is also one of Jiraiya's students. His most favorite, many say. The shadowy figure said, as the unknown man and woman remained silent in the dark. Did my words trouble you? Knowing your target is one of your sensei's students' child. No, it did not. Our past with Jiraiya no longer exists. The man in the dark said. The man stood out from the shadows. The man had long red color hair, his eyes were purple color but had a strange look to them. Beside the red hair man was a very beautiful blue hair woman with beautiful amber eyes. The two wore black coats with red clouds on them. Are sure you two can handle it? Nagato, your legs, are they still bothering you? The shadowy figure asked. Don't worry about me, Toby. I can handle myself fine. It's been a few months since Yahiko died. If what you say is true, then this boy has the key we need to save this world from its ultimate end. Konoha will pay for what they did, and all within the land of fire shall know pain.